Today's show is brought to you in part by Lisa Mattress. Lisa was founded with a simple goal to help people sleep better. With this innovative direct-to-consumer online strategy, Lisa's 100% American-made mattresses are challenging the traditional mattress industry. Did you know that Forbes even named it one of the top 20 startups to watch? Huh. See for yourself why everyone is raving about Lisa by trying it in your home 100 nights risk-free. Right now, you can get $75 off a Lisa mattress with the offer code BOMBCAST at leesa.com.
Just go like this.
I can't even do a Chewbacca sound.
That's
Ferrari.
okay.
I mean, lucky for you, we could just put you in a big rug and, you could pull it off.
That's true.
So,
You've got the presence
Yeah.
down. I don't know that
It's
you.
the presence.
I don't think you roll the R's in Ferrari, do you?
No, I don't think so. But
Ferrari.
it
Not.
does sound
Maybe you
fancy.
don't.
Okay.
I took 5 years of Spanish, and I still
Wow.
couldn't roll my R's.
Man. They just booted you out at the end. You're like, all right, you're hopeless.
You'll never learn.
Your tongue
It
dexterity.
was 5 years of level 1 Spanish because I couldn't
Just kept
get
trying.
past.
I took 4 years and got to level 2. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just bang your head against that wall long enough.
I just, at some point, stopped going to school.
yeah.
Mm.
That's, or
What
that.
if I just
most
didn't?
people do.
That also works. It's Tuesday, May the 9th, 2017. It's the Giant Bombcast. Hello. Hi.
What's up?
Hey. Hello.
What's up?
Hi, Matt Rory.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Is it only May 9th? God, I thought it was later
May the
than that.
9th be with you.
No, stop.
Man.
My favorite.
You guys remember Star Wars?
What is that?
Star Wars?
Yeah, that's the one.
Matt Rory, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Good?
I'm all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
All right.
Yeah.
Sleep schedule was a little screwed up for
Yeah.
the weekend, but
Did you guys endurance ran?
it was all community members, mostly them. They did all the heavy lifting. Gino Grico, that Penguino, one of our mods, Zombie Pie, did like 30 hours of Final Fantasy VIII. I want to say.
Oh.
30 hours of one game.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's real.
Final Fantasy VIII.
That's bad.
It's a good one, but it's he did a bunch. And a bunch of other people contributed too. They did, yeah. So if you weren't familiar, community members did a big long stream this weekend. We had the chat room up.
You took a shift, right?
I did about 4 hours. I did 2 to 6 in the morning on Sunday morning. I was supposed to go 3 more hours, but my dog started to get mad at me, and my girlfriend too. We were painting our guest bedroom, so there wasn't like a whole separate hallway she could go down and sleep while I was doing my streaming, and I started yelling at the computer. So she was usually fine with it, but the dogs were getting really mad.
What the dogs say goes.
So I cut off a little bit early, but I'm gonna try to make it up at some point. Yeah, I played some co-op stuff, did a little player unknowns, Battlegrounds, and some Ghost Recon Wildlands with some community members.
I hear that you almost tasted the chicken dinner.
Second place.
Man.
That should at least get you
Second
like a
place.
side, like some
Yeah.
biscuits or
Yeah,
potatoes.
Like,
I
here's
did
a-
2 solo runs to start off the weekend with, or the stream with, and the first time I got sniped in the head trying to get to airdrop. It was well outside the zone. It was contracting in, so I thought nobody would be there, but somebody was camping it, even though. The one thing they have to I learn about this game is that when the zone is contracting, there are people who will just wait. They don't care. They just want to get that one last kill before they inevitably die.
We keep getting, after every stream, we keep getting people saying, like, hey, don't worry about the circle so much. Like, just pop an energy drink and hang out.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to die, except you're totally going
you
to die.
totally just die.
Well, it's I mean, I think we play it safe when we play in terms of just like how quickly we get inside the circle. Like,
It's clearly paying off.
yeah, we're getting there. Well, whatever, man. After we did that stream yesterday, and then I waited a few hours and said, God damn it, I have to play some more of this to redeem how fucking shit ass suck we did, or I did.
Lights
anyway.
a fire under you sometimes.
So I placed 7th.
Yeah.
All
right.
I've done number 2 twice now.
Yeah.
So at some point I'll get number 1.
I got number 1
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and that felt great. And yeah, I would have done better than 7th, but I took some bad shots and exposed myself.
Yeah.
And that was a bad
The
mistake.
second run that I did when I got number 2 was it started contracting down a little town, and then the second to last like contraction was outside all of the building I was, so I knew I had to go. Somebody already parked a car outside, so I hopped in the car, and it was on a beach. Like there's no cover at all. The circles are going down, so I just started driving around like a lazy figure eights, and I figured as it contracted down, people would probably start shooting each other rather than this random car driving around. It was true.
Turns out
It was true until the last 3 people, and somehow I saw the health of the car ticking down, and I eventually popped out. And at
Wait,
that
does the
point,
car also die outside the circle?
car blows up. Oh, I don't know.
Or was that just getting shot?
I was the only one inside the circle, but I was just driving around, and people knew if there's no cover, no trees, no nothing. They knew if they came in there, I'd run them over. But so one dude was just patiently plinking away. And I got number 2. That's still pretty good for a stream.
Does the circle ever stop contracting?
I don't know.
Like, is there a minimum
it gets
size?
real fucking small.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it could get much smaller than.
If there's 2 people not shooting each other, I think they would probably consider that to be collusion or something. I mean, isn't that against the rules? Like they say they're going to ban people for that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I just wonder what happens in terms of like what does the game do? Does it just eventually just sit there and like you can just stay there, the 2 of you, forever and kiss?
Circles
at the
should
end of
just
the
get
world?
smaller and smaller until it's like one little pixel.
Yeah, it
So you
should
have to
be,
hug
yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
Stay alive.
Hug it out.
I was very, very close to winning. I thought I had a good chance, but the thing I always realize that I always feel underpowered, like I'm not getting the right weapons and stuff like that. But then everybody else is probably having the same problem.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah,
You never know what you're gonna get.
Well, that's the
Or
thing.
not
Like,
yet.
like that's the
Unless it's a backpack. Fuck
Right, well, yeah.
backpackless runs.
So
Those
there
are the worst.
That's
are
really tough.
there are spots where like different things are more likely to spawn. So there are strategies based on like, okay, well I know that there's likely to be level 3 shit here or better guns here and
really?
that sort of stuff. So and I think that like goes against what I like about that game in a lot of ways in terms of just like you kind of never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone like I want it to be more random. I want it to be random with modifiers like pistols only or something like that. Like sometimes it's just like there's nothing but shit down here.
Yeah.
It's all cars.
Nothing but
No
frying
cars.
pans.
Nothing but frying pans. Exactly.
100 people with frying pans.
Pans only.
I started checking that game out a little bit, played a few games, and something I thought would be really cool is maybe at the end you have a map and it just shows where everyone dropped and moved to, and so you can just kind of track the progress of like you see like this kind of line of people, but then it spreads out and then it all comes together. I thought that'd be cool.
That's part of our expansion DLC. It's called the Hero's Path. We're going to be adding it. You can see the last 200 hours of you walking around the island.
Okay.
And you can lay down any fast travel point you want.
What Wind Waker character can I dress up as?
Which amiibos do you own?
I have a Luigi amiibo on my TV.
Okay, then you can be Epona.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was in that thing that you said was selling for like $500?
That appeared to be so. I think the description was player unknown set.
Yeah, like a
And
costume
then,
set.
and there's also a player unknown's trench coat, which is also like $200.
Which I assume would be part of the
So-
set. Like I would assume the set would be all the items.
I
'cause
guess
there's
so, but there
there's
were no other.
bandana
Yeah,
also.
but there. Oh, was that on the marketplace?
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know how much that one was going for, but like I get the sense that's like his set. Like it's.
Yeah.
What he wears in real life.
Yep, totally.
right.
While he's making the
Branded
game, he's
trench
wearing
coat.
this sick trench coat.
Yeah.
with a hood on it. Yeah, like microtransactions are starting to happen for that thing.
I may have purchased sunglasses for
What?
35
Wow.
cents.
Nice.
Well, they're not. That's Steam
There's
stuff.
Steam,
That's like
it's Steam inventory,
drops.
so it's just like Dota items or
But they're from the
TF2 or CS:GO items.
They're from the reward pack, right? They're
Did you
not
see
like
Dota items?
I did actually.
Okay.
Why?
Stop.
Just making sure.
they're not. They're not. Those are just like drops from the reward chest.
Oh yeah, it's the chest you buy in the
Okay,
game,
but it's not
they,
a microtransaction. So-
No,
Well,
yeah,
so
but
you can sell them for real
on
money.
the Steam marketplace.
I don't count that as a
real money.
microtransaction.
Well,
I mean,
what you mean the
publisher's not making that
developer
money?
is not
the
selling them
publisher gets a
directly.
cut of every single
Okay.
sale.
But yeah, they do
happens
get a
on
cut of the
But
sales. But they've also said after it goes out of early access, they are just going to start selling.
it's fine.
Is there going to have a marketplace where you can design your own?
Oh, I hope so.
Just get people designing
That would
like
be great.
knockoffs of celebrities.
How serious are
and-
they going to be about their fiction?
Yeah.
What's the story here, Brad?
What do you mean?
What's the story in Battlegrounds?
I don't know.
Have
What
they
is
gone
the
into
story?
it?
Why are they fighting? What is the story?
Well,
I like
if-
that game quite a bit, but
Yeah.
the only problem now is that the jank is getting less and less charming as it goes along.
like what
Like
kind of
getting in and out of cars is really fucking
yeah,
finicky.
that's pretty messed up.
Sometimes opening doors can be
Yeah.
too. Like it definitely has
that
rough
little
spots.
little stuff like that is becoming more and more.
The biggest one for me is mantling over stuff or not actually.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
even little like knee-high fences are kind of hard to jump over. Like,
Yeah.
and sometimes you have to go like all the way around a thing.
so responsiveness in general could be a lot improved.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to clean that stuff up or if they consider that like part of the challenge.
Or how much can they? I mean,
Yeah.
without just like, okay, we're going to rip out 100% of our net code and rewrite it from scratch. I wonder. But they've got quite a bit of money at their disposal.
They should be okay.
I wonder if that's more than they expected, and now they're like, "Oh shit, we can do whatever now."
Yeah.
Let's get Mark Hamill and Malcolm McDowell on the phone.
Yes.
Start shooting some
Okay.
stuff. We're
All
gonna
right.
sell insurance for your glasses, $300.
Keep going.
Well, I'll keep going. How
sky's
wide do
the
you want
limit.
the scope of this to go?
Sky's the limit.
All right, okay. What if you could own the plane? What if you could buy the plane
shit.
and
Okay.
then you get to
Stickers
determine-
on the plane.
Yeah. What if you
You
could
get
put
you get to steer the plane.
your designs on the plane? You could steer the plane.
Okay.
And then also there's a plane combat module that we're working on that we're hoping to get in
Okay.
there. You can get insurance on the plane. You can buy exclusive planes right now, $400. We're pretty excited about it. We're also shooting a lot of FMV. We got a lot of mocap in here that we're not sure if the mocap's going to be able to work in the game we're making, but we're going to shoot the mocap anyway and just hope for the best.
Sure.
Are you mocapping a plane?
No, we're mocapping the plane. Yeah,
Okay.
for the first time, we are mocapping every part of a plane. We got balls all over that fucking thing.
Yeah, all right. You don't think you can get Andy Serkis to just do it? I feel like he could probably do a pretty good plane.
I mean, we've got Andy Serkis on the line for some other stuff that
Okay.
I can't really get into right now. But so we do want to get a real plane. Much like Onimusha mocapped a horse and felt really, like that they were pioneering that. We want to follow in Onimusha's footsteps.
that game is legendary for its horse. movement.
Everyone talks about the horse mocap
To this
there.
day.
So, really, we want to be the first with like really good plane mocap. Not the first with plane mocap, obviously. I mean, let's not be crazy. People are motion capturing planes every day.
Oh, yeah.
But we really want to get it right, and we're willing to invest the time and the money to do it.
Okay.
Player Unknown's Plane Mocap Studio it was actually a separate product.
A plane with a hood over the cockpit.
Yeah, you basically have a whole hood over that, and you can insure the hooded jacket for your plane for just $500 right now.
They're saying the plane is wearing a trench coat.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Some cars have car bras.
Yeah.
Planes
It's
have
come full
trench
circle.
coats. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's come full circle.
Little bumper buddy.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of the first games that has a really, really strong presence primarily due to Twitch. Like that game blew up on Twitch and was in the top 3 for the last 2 months.
Well, it launched at #1 on Steam. It
Yeah.
wasn't. It was.
It
already
definitely launched high,
The
but
Player
like,
Unknown brand.
it has still just kept such a strong presence on Twitch. It's like kept a really high social media presence because it's so easy to like share funny clips of just like, oh, look at me getting shot. Like I feel like this game, if it came out 5 years ago, may not be where it is right now because just it's so like people I follow in the like Dota community, people I follow in the fighting game community have started streaming it with like their friends. It just has blown up in a way that I haven't seen a lot of pre-release games do so on.
I feel like it's that kind of perfect storm in a lot of ways of like this is a game that is fun to watch, I think, at multiple skill levels.
Yeah.
But also it is fun to play. You have a lot of games that are like it's really fun to watch someone stream this horror game, but like is that going to translate into sales? Like
Right.
maybe
I don't want to go
not.
download and play this because I
Yeah.
saw all the scares and like
Right.
it's not that fun to play.
Whereas this is, it being different every time within reason and like the just the possibilities of each individual playthrough, like watching that game makes me want to play more of that game.
Yeah.
So like after we ran our stream, I went back and watched some clips of it yesterday, and I was like, fuck man, I got to get in there and play some more. Like it just builds upon itself in a really good way. I wonder how long that'll last. They've got work to do, right? I mean, and like you were saying, there are some aspects of that game that are like a little like tiresome as time goes on. Certainly, some of the inventory stuff and just the speed at which you interact with things.
I was gonna ask, is there any way to see a ping in that game? I haven't found any
I don't
ping.
think
Yeah, there's no player
No,
list or anything
developed.
like that.
No.
Yeah.
Which
How
seems
has
like a
the
pretty-
netcode like held up for you guys?
I've never
You're
had a
talking
problem
like
with
100
shooting,
players in there.
Shooting is okay.
Yeah.
A lot of everything else is kind of rough. Like getting in and out of vehicles is just like you hit the button, it doesn't work, or
yeah.
it works like 3
Yeah,
seconds later.
you wonder if it's like netcode or I guess in that case, in 3 seconds later that'd be netcode. But like there's just
shooting
a
is always
general like the shooting is fine, but like there's some responsiveness
Yeah.
issues around interacting with the world and stuff that sometimes feels a little weird. And sometimes you have multiple players in a car, for example. Some weird shit might happen.
Yeah.
You
You to perhaps fire your weapon from a moving vehicle.
yeah, like a lot of stuff around cars is just
Something strange
fucked
might
up
happen.
in that game in ways that are like hilarious.
Yeah.
But that's gonna get less hilarious.
When a chicken dinner is on the line. Yeah.
But that's a game I don't mind losing in it.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I have a good time playing it.
What do you guys do for your parachute strategy. I usually wait till the end, like almost to the end, and go there. But I see a lot of people just go out as soon as they can and start punching on the ground, which I can't imagine. I guess if you just,
if you bail out early on, like the shit's gonna start as soon as you hit the ground.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready for that.
I know. I've never bothered.
There's gonna be a bunch of people running around just trying to punch you to death if you
Yeah, like I was
if
playing.
you jump out with the mob.
I was playing yesterday, and I got out probably in the first third of the plane's flight, and there was another guy that went to the building next door, and I was like, okay, it's going to be on.
Yep.
I need to find a gun immediately.
Yep.
Found a pistol, ran around the building that I was pretty sure he was in,
Nice.
ran in as he was running out, and he was crouched, like crawling out of this door because he saw me land. I just shot him in the fucking back, and I was like, hooray! And then I decided to sit in that building for like 10 minutes, and then got shot in the back without even fucking.
What do you?
God damn it!
Like I know you're a fan of the like find a building and park there strategy. Like what do you do for like 10 minutes? Do you check your phone? Are you like just spinning the camera around?
I turn the volume up to see if I can hear footsteps.
Okay.
Just sit there and go fuck.
Okay.
Fuck,
The one thing I've
fuck.
noticed is that you can bind walk, which is a lot quieter instead of running. Even like there's sprint, jog, and then walk, which is a separate toggle. You have to click it and then walk, but it's like control, which is tough to control in WASD. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna bind that to a mouse button and go
Yeah.
for walk if I want to be quiet. Because if you're crouching and walking, you're basically unhearable. You don't move very fast, but
Yeah.
definitely his footsteps are the big
Yeah, that'd probably be worth doing. It's the first game in a long time that has made me think like maybe I should get a pair of headphones.
Yeah, I pretty much only play with
I
headphones.
fucking hate headphones, but like there's something to. Well, also that game like the audio is very dynamic, so it's like the planes are really fucking loud.
Yeah.
In an annoying way with the speakers I've got.
Every time I hear a plane coming over, I think it's a car for like.
I live relatively close to an airport, and as I was playing the game, there were like small private planes flying overhead, and it was really unsettling.
And it'll just be like silent for 8 minutes. You won't hear anything, and then you'll hear a gunshot, and it can just totally.
Yeah.
You just set
Freaks
you on
me out
edge.
in a way that horror games have never.
It makes me smile because you hear it off in the distance and go, "Yeah, someone's getting murdered." It's one less person.
I also really want a grenade, separate grenade button, like for throwing grenades.
Yeah.
Have a grenade slot and just put one rotate out there, but just have a separate button. Because right now
Do
you have
you
to
use
switch.
grenades a lot?
Yeah,
Like
you
I
have
feel
to-
like
you have to-
everybody.
you have to
You have to switch
the
to them, then use
Yeah,
them. I think
yeah.
so.
Maybe
it's-
smoke grenades to
Yeah.
moderate effect. Like if I'm pinned down in a building, I know someone's out there.
Yeah, should probably use those more often.
Yeah, I never do, just because you have to. The way they're used as a separate.
The wind up
inventory.
on the throw is so long.
That's
Well,
another
that's another
laggy
thing that
thing.
seems like a lag thing,
Yeah.
or it's I don't know. The grenade tosses just seem fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
I was-
because it's like, do I push the button once and then he just goes back and throws? Because
It's
it seems
just
like he'll cock back.
I
then
was practicing it
another
in the lobby when we were
Yeah.
streaming yesterday, and it's just a super long wind up animation. Like you pull the pin and
Okay.
kind of very slowly bring your arm back, and it's just
Yeah,
you just have to.
weird.
You got to be careful. You know, you don't
true.
want to just like take a grenade and kind
Yeah,
of
you
toss
don't
it.
wanna-
at
you don't
its
wanna
ass.
drop it at
Exactly
your
what I
feet.
want to do.
I know you said before you think a lot of the charm is and the kind of the jank is part of the charm of the game, and to a degree that's true. Where a lot of these Arc and games like this have rough edges, which
Yeah.
kind of make it fun to be on the opening edge. But I really hope they do. No, it doesn't have to be pretty. All that game is fucking ugly. Like that's the other big thing for me. That's like really full bright. It doesn't look very good.
I think it's fine.
I need more. I don't. It doesn't have to be Crisis, but
There's something charming about its ugliness.
the word charm keeps on being used as
Yeah.
like a cover up for stuff that's fucked up in a weird way. That game could look a lot better.
All right,
yeah,
for Mr. 1080 Ti.
there are some situations where, like yesterday, I spent 10 minutes staring at a light switch, and I was like, this light switch is bigger than my head. It was just one of those scale things.
Was it how big was the light?
The light was regular size.
Oh,
as far as I
okay.
can tell.
All right.
Take a cue from WoW. Make every inventory item on the ground sparkle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's my.
There is
How about
there
big
is a
giant
bit of
shoulder
a-
pads too? That's the other
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, pauldrons.
I'm only half joking. Like looking into a room and seeing what's there is sometimes very tough. I feel like I'm criticizing the game way more than it probably. I enjoy playing that game, fuck ton. Just a lot of little polish.
I just wonder where they'll spend their time.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's something like what I'd be really curious to see kind of what their roadmap is or what they view as like usability stuff they need to get on and stuff that they're going to kind of look at later or stuff that they're just like whatever this is
Do you know
part of the game.
Have they said if they're just going to go full on esports with that thing? Like, is there going to be a league?
They already
Is there
started
gonna
a
be
charity
Is there
thing.
going to be like
It's
Yeah,
starting
we're
to
the
show up at
charity thing.
tournaments. Like,
Is it actually?
yeah, a
They
little
did a
bit.
$100,000 charity tournament last weekend or something. I think they were still signing up for it or something.
No,
Yeah.
they ran it. Yeah, it happened. Yeah, they raised like $200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely room for that.
No. It's so random. I wonder how you build a competitive scene around that.
Well, there's randomness, but then there's also like
The World Series of Poker,
Yeah, like I'm good at shooting,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's still an advantage no matter what. Like there's definitely going to be, hey, I found this great gun early, and that's going to help you get to the end game.
And I'm sure there's some, there's a skill ceiling on just getting around unseen or unnoticed and that kind of thing.
You could do a ranking system, right, where first place you obviously get whatever MMR, and then second through 5 gets a certain number, and like so if you kind of average out where you're always finishing in the top 10, you're a good player. But like if you're always finishing in the bottom 25, that's not due to not finding a gun. That's due to you not being good at the game. And so you can kind of
and they do have some kind of numbers in there. I don't know how they're calculating it, but they do have leaderboards and stuff. So.
It's so easy to goose your placement in that game though by just like if you just pick a point and sail there with your parachute at the beginning of the game and wait until the last until the circle's tiny, you can pretty much finish in the top 15 without ever seeing a player if you're committed to it.
I don't take the leaderboards are really, really weird. I'm like number 300,000 out of 2 million, I guess, which is decent. But the top ranking is just like I don't even know how these numbers even exist anymore. There's somebody getting number 1, and people. It's only like the top people on the leaderboard have only played like 6 days, solid, which is a lot of time for a game that's like 3 weeks old. But
you mean in-game hours?
I think so.
WoW style.
As far as I can tell,
that's a lot.
It is a lot. I mean,
I'm sure there are people that just sit around and play match after match all day, like Call of Duty.
Yeah, sure. Streaming. I think it's the number 3 game on Twitch now, or something like that. After League of Legends and Counter-Strike or something, it's way up there. So people are just sitting there streaming, which is great. I mean, that game is fun to watch. But yeah, it's been, I wouldn't say an obsession, but
I've starting to bring out and we see it in some of the comments on some of the videos.
The marks.
It's starting to bring out people that are just like, I can't fucking believe you're playing wrong. Like starting to bring out there's an element of people that are just like, there's only one way to play this game, and if you're not playing that way, fuck you. And that's I mean that's a good step on the road to a game being taken seriously, but also B, fuck those people. It's just like whatever.
He was saying about Twitch, and I think the Dark Souls and PC came out. The Twitch really kind of boosted Dark Souls up into a different level than it had been on PS3 or PS3, I guess. But Dark Souls is also one of those things where if you stream that with an audience in the chat room, they will fucking yell at you for doing anything that
missing
they don't,
a thing, or
you didn't pick up this item, or you didn't beat that boss the right way.
Sorry,
using the wrong armor,
sticking to this exact script that you just want to see the same run through the game over and over again. It's just dumb.
I enjoy streaming when I do it, but it's also.
Remember when people got mad at Vinny for being too leveled?
Really?
He had leveled up to
God. You're supposed to cap it at 40, dude. That's what everybody's playing at. It's that kind of stuff is insufferable. Luckily, I mean, I've had
none of our fans do that. They're all
I was gonna say, whenever I stream in our chat room, people are very nice and supportive. I mean, I'm playing WoW and
in
WoW
our
is
chat room anyway.
In our chat room anyway.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed doing. So I did all community stuff. I was trying to stream with people from the community. I did a bunch of player Battlegrounds and Ghost Recon Wildlands, like I said, and I had a really good time. So I'm gonna try and do more of that. Keep an eye on my Twitter or something. I'll throw up some stuff on the weekends. I've been doing WoW stuff every now and again, but I can't do that every weekend. So, community co-op
dogs
corner.
won't let you, right?
What was that?
The dogs won't let you.
They were really mad because one of them, I think Potus loves me too much. This sounds like a brag thing to say, but he has imprinted on me since I moved in October.
Oh, wow.
He's getting mad at his mom when I pet his mom now. He'll nip at her and bark. You're supposed to be petting me only, buddy. He sleeps between my legs, and he just follows me around the house when I go to the bathroom and everything like that. And he's like, I got a E3 will be good test because we're going to E3 and then we're going to Cancun the next week.
Are you going to bring him with?
No, no. I'm looking forward to E3 just to be able to sleep in my own bed for a week without a dog right between my legs.
Got the dog hooked on those pets.
Oh God, he's a little clingy. It's like that.
You met your match, is what you're saying.
No, man. I can't love him less, but I gotta back up.
You stepped in with the chomp, and that dog leaned right in and said, "Do it. You can do me a favor, man.
Bring it on, buddy."
But no, not to keep on babbling about it, but thanks to everybody in the community who streamed and everybody gave money. $6,000.
Yeah, that's
$1,000
awesome.
more than our target was.
That's amazing.
That Penguino and one of our mods did the lion's work of getting all that stuff set up and making posts and everything like that. And he did a great job.
Fucking great.
Yeah. So,
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. Before I move on to other stuff, I guess I should mention there's a sale going on.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Oh,
real
yeah.
quick?
How much time do people have left?
I think we're going to end it Friday, probably midnight.
Okay.
And if you're seeing this on YouTube or something like that, we do have a website where we do a lot of premium content, and we'll have a membership sale going on until Friday.
That was a sale right there.
Yeah, that was if somebody's buzzing me, make sure to mention the sale.
How do people get to it?
Yeah.
It's on giantbomb.com/upgrade if you want to kind of see some stuff. I'm also putting older premium stuff on YouTube this week. So look for that every day. We'll have another older YouTube, older premium stuff, and be uploading it to YouTube. And we'll make sure you tweet and Facebook, all that kind of stuff.
Excellent.
$35 for a year.
Yeah.
Good job.
Keep an eye out.
Good job, America.
That's less than $1 a month.
Yep.
It's like
That's the math.
Yeah, that doesn't check out quite, but
It's close.
yeah.
There are new months.
Yeah,
They changed.
they added some.
You
I've
get,
gone
you
to
get
the
brand new
movies.
months by subscribing. Yeah.
I have gone to the movies before and spent $80 at like the whatchamacallit,
Kabuki?
the Kabuki.
I spent $50 last night.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
So and I apologize. Also, if you have any, before I move on, email me at support@giantbomb.com if you have any issues with like a renewal at full price or anything like that. I've been answering emails for goddamn 2 weeks straight. So I apologize if I haven't like responded to you on the site, but support@giantbomb.com. I will hook you up. Don't use your store code if you get renewed at full price. I will cancel that and refund you down to the sale price. Just email me, and I apologize if I take a little time to get to it because I have a lot of emails.
There's volume to work through.
Oh,
Been
God.
buried in it.
So many of them.
A lot of people taking advantage of this fantastic offer.
I don't mind doing it. It's just
Act
like
now.
I appreciate the fact that I'm snowed under a little bit in terms of emails.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm done chilling.
All right.
Whoa.
That
Not
Kabuki,
yet.
That
Thanks,
Kabuki theater is
Shill.
expensive, man.
We went to see Rogue One there, and it's one of those like pre-ticketed seating thing, and they sell
okay.
cocktails and
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, a
And like,
bar and
all
a
of a
full
sudden, there's
kitchen.
a $22 like beer or cider.
What?
It's
What?
like a huge bottle.
22, like huge, like fucking.
Is it
Is it
like a
like one of those lots?
has to be
3
a-
feet of fucking beer walking around like a
I want to say it
lunatic
was
thing?
32 ounces. or something like that.
32 ounces is a lot of beer.
$13 cocktails, $15 cocktails,
Man.
popcorn,
Yeah.
and you're just like, hey, yeah, sure, we're having a good time. And
You just go to the regular movie theater and wear big pants. You can bring a 40 in there and you're fine.
I did enjoy going to the Draft House.
Draft House.
I was really curious about
Yeah.
those upstairs theaters because I knew they were smaller than the big one, but that was actually a perfectly fine viewing experience.
I like those theaters.
That was all right.
But
some
also,
leg room.
if we had not, could have easily spent $100 on that stuff too. I go out, I go hard, but man, trying to save a little money after buying that video card.
Just watch all those movies on your video
Yeah,
card now.
there we go.
Render them.
Ben Pack.
Leslie.
Hey,
What's up?
Not much.
Now it's just another week. Last week you were the new guy.
yeah,
it's just
now
like,
I'm
he's
just like,
here.
I'm here. I showed up late.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah, came in
10
hungover,
o'clock is
stinking of whiskey.
There's a reason that our morning engineering stand-ups start at 10:10 rather than 10 o'clock. Nobody would
smart.
show up at 10.
Yeah.
Now it's just 10:10.
That means it's time to say, what have you been playing?
Just more Persona mostly.
Yeah,
I
still,
think
still
I'm
cranking through.
Yeah, I think I'm coming up on what appears to be the last act, but knowing JRPGs is probably the last of 2 or 3 acts.
A couple of false endings.
Yeah, I've got all my confidants, which are your social links. Finally, they gradually unlock as you meet more people, and so I've pretty much seen all the important characters at this point. Kind of know who the main baddie is, but like I said, if any of you watch the Persona 4 Endurance Run, you know that there's never the last boss is never who you think it actually is. But it's good. I mean, I've had very few frustrations past what I've talked about last week. I've kind of gotten all my core party members now, and so I'm starting to realize the strengths and weaknesses of certain lineups and kind of worked on optimizing my personas and trying to get in a good balance of filling in the gaps. This game does a little bit better of having party diversity than what I saw at Persona 4. I never actually played Persona 4. I watched the Endurance Run and messed around with Golden a little bit. But this one...
It's the optimal way to play that game.
Yeah.
Just the way it was played in that video. There's no better way.
No, it's a perfect speed run of it.
Yeah. Fastest run and 100%.
And you saw all the important social links.
Yes.
But, certain characters... Basically, in Persona 4, people just had different elemental affinities that they were attributed to. But in this game, there's 2 different types of physical attackers. One who's good at dealing with groups and one who's good at one-on-one scenarios. There's certain characters who have really good buffs and debuffs and a little bit of healing. And then there's a character who has a lot of healing and a little bit of debuff. So you can kind of mix and match your team into what you really want to have your main character not focus on. Which is cool. I never got into breeding Pokemon or any of those games where you're fusing different things to try and get the optimal outcome. But this one, I've spent a lot of time on just kind of like using an online calculator to figure out potential fusions and then working backwards and kind of engineering the perfect persona.
I got about to that point in Persona 4 Golden on the Vita, and I started looking into all the different systems that were explained, and I just kind of stopped playing that game.
Eyes glaze over.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. I also, Persona 4 at least was that, I don't know how it is in here. I mean, you're still in school, I guess, but is there that thing where you have to choose whether you want to study or socialize every day?
Yeah, basically you can like work on leveling up your stats like guts and proficiency, or you can hang out with your friends, or you can dungeon crawl, are basically your 3 options.
Man, that was always a difficult choice. One of those analysis paralysis kind of things. Where I couldn't figure out what I want to do every day, and I'm such a min-maxer.
Well, if you consult the FAQ, here's the optimal thing to do every single day.
I did look that up just to see kind of, now that I've gotten far enough, I was like, okay, if I get spoiled on something, I probably won't have endgame stuff in here. So I went back to start looking at what you needed to do to have the perfect run.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm so not even close to where this should have been. Because like day 1, you have to go into town to buy plant fertilizer so you can start planting, so you can start feeding your plant, which boosts your kindness, because if you don't do that in time, you're not going to be able to get this confidant link up. So I didn't even know the plant thing was a thing until like 3 weeks into the game.
Right. Yeah.
So I would have just been completely lost, and it doesn't seem fun to do that.
No. Yeah. That's reading through that stuff and having played
everything you've said about
Persona
5 thus far has just made me not want to play the game at all.
Yeah. But no, having played a lot of Persona 4 over the years, there's definitely like that thing of like reading the fact and going like, okay, today I need to go see this person. Today I need to do this, like I need money this day. I need to do this day. Like it's at some point that's only a fun way to play the game if you've already played it like twice and you're just like, I want to see everything.
I don't want to go on YouTube and look up all of these things that are probably very available.
How grindy is the combat? Like a lot of like these days for me, like a lot of JRPGs just live and die by like how many battles am I gonna have to fight over and over and over again?
It's real quick to like get in and out, doesn't it?
But how many do you have to fight though?
Right.
Like
I honestly,
is it just random encounters constantly, or
in the second dungeon, I probably did a little bit of grinding, but other than that, I've only been just progressing through the palaces, which is what they call the dungeons. They work where it's a set number of enemies per floor, but if you leave and come back, they respawn.
Is it still, I mean, I imagine it has to be, but it's still that situation where eventually you kind of just are resource limited of just like all my characters are tired.
They're out of mana, basically. They're out of SP.
You kind of need to just go back. So it's sort of, that's kind of how they limit both how much progress you can make in any one day and that sort of thing of like how much can you really grind. Because if you just sit there, if you were able to just sit there and grind, you would eventually run out of SP and not make the progress you need to make that day.
Because the way the combat works is if you hit an enemy with its elemental weakness, you can knock it down. And if all enemies are knocked down, you can basically instant kill everyone. So you're using spells is very important to the combat. There is a social link. I'm so used to saying social link. There's a confidant that gives you an ability
do they straight up not call them social links?
Yeah, they're confidants.
Man, fuck that game. I had no idea. Man, I just burn it to the ground. We're done.
You can't max your S links.
You've got confidants. Confidant is a fun word to say.
It is, yeah.
Confidant.
But there's a confidant who will help you with SP recovery items as you rank him up. So if you really, and that seems more for like end game grinding, like trying to defeat secret bosses or whatever. Or there is a dungeon that is kind of like the tower in 3 where it just eventually progresses and you can go there at any point and there's some side quests there, and it seems like the place to do grinding because there's rare personas and on rainy days they're more powerful. Stop me if you've heard this one before. And it does way more with the weather stuff that it's really cool. There's like, if you go during a heat wave, the monsters start out burned. Or if you go during a the cold season, they get sick and die just after 3 turns. Are
you still in like the mirror universe? What is it called? The Dark Channel?
No, they call it.
That was just for 4.
They have a different name for it every time, but basically
it's basically the same concept.
Going into a TV?
No, you go through an app.
Of course.
It's 2017.
It's very 2017.
All these kids just pull out their phones and hit the
go
mysterious
into the
app
phone.
that just appears.
I
and
made
then
a
they're
face,
there.
but yeah, I don't know what I should have expected. That seems like that seems about apropos.
That seems like if you sat the team down who said, "Well, we went into TVs last time. What now?" That's the first words that would come out, and there we go. First idea, best idea. All right, there we go. Nailed it.
They're going to
Move
make
on.
a new Poltergeist movie where everybody's haunted by something on their phone. I suppose it's like everything comes full circle.
Didn't they already do that? Didn't they already do the
They
social
did-
media
did-
horror movie?
Did a remake
several
of
of them?
Poltergeist, but I'm not sure. I never saw it. I heard it was terrible.
Yeah,
so
there's what that.
Oh,
it's not-
Unfriended was one of them.
Yeah,
I think.
there's that one.
If you die in Skype, you die in real life.
Yeah, I heard that movie's actually decent. I haven't seen it, but
It was good.
yeah, the growing tropes of the horror movie genre have definitely evolved. They have to. I suppose they have to. At this
Well, they
point.
just have to apply
Sign of
the
the
same
times.
tropes
Yeah,
to
yeah.
new technology,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like-
My Fitbit is haunted. If I take too many steps, I'll die. But there's a
can't-
monster
I
chasing me.
can't stop running if
this
I don't want
Bluetooth
to.
salt shaker keeps dumping itself over.
I'll have bad luck forever.
With the first VR Oculus horror movie.
Oh, yeah.
I
Where
think
is
that,
that?
I think that must exist.
That
think it
has to be
does.
on the way.
like a trapped in. I mean, Lawnmower Man, the
One
original.
would hope. Yeah.
I am God here.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest shift. If you've ever read The Lawnmower Man, it has fucking
Yep.
nothing to do with VR.
Yeah, Stephen King adaptations. I mean, it was a short story too. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
Like
a short story
real-
about some grotesque lawn guy that's like worshiper of Pan,
but the
like
80s,
human sacrifice
yeah.
shit.
80s, man. If you're Stephen King, you're just cranking out like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, make it
Just
into a
fucking-
movie. Just send me a boatload of cocaine.
Cocaine and whiskey. Let's write some horror books.
Did they ever
think
make a
he's-
movie out of the Killer Washing Machine short story? that
Oh,
he
the
did?
Mangler?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Maximum Overdrive.
I think
was
there
one.
totally
They
is a
did.
movie. I think there totally is a movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
Out of
Yeah,
that.
I'm almost
man.
positive.
Man, they're trying to do the Dark Tower stuff. That's bold.
Isn't
Yeah.
it one movie though to cover the entire arc?
They initially, I remember at Screen, they've been talking about this shit for years. They were
Right.
going to do a movie, then an HBO season, then another movie, then an HBO season, and you have to like tie them all together at the end. It was some weird, like,
Crossovers and shit.
real jerk
I'm
off.
making that up. I don't know.
But I think
Like
they're
same cast, like maintaining
Yeah.
the same people.
Yeah,
that's
they
kind
were-
of that's
it's
kinda
cool.
neat. I don't know,
But they were. It was so ambitious. Like
Sounds,
yeah.
That sounds really expensive though. If you're getting
Yeah.
if you're getting like A-listers for your movie, you can't afford to pay those people for an entire season of TV.
they were trying to. They were
Hey,
trying
man,
to pull
they
it
got
off.
Anthony Hopkins now on
Yeah,
HBO.
okay.
Yeah, I was
Alright.
gonna say.
So I
like
think
the-
I think they definitely want to make more of these movies, but it sounds like they're playing pretty loose with the adaptation, which is good because I don't know if you ever read those books where they get fucking weird. At
You,
the
you
end.
mentioned some stuff last week. I read the first like 2.5 or something.
they're
and
good. The first 4 or 5 are decent.
Sounded like
Then
the stuff toward the end. I was like, yeah, maybe I'm glad I stopped.
Stephen King writes himself into the book.
Yeah.
As like a warrior of light who has to write the books that he is in order to let Roland get to the Dark Tower. Except he's hit by a van in real life and he went to the hospital. He writes that character into the book too as
The
like
person who hit him.
the person who hit him in his car as a
amazing.
dupe of the Dark Lord
That's
who is trying to
amazing.
prevent him from writing these books. It gets so metatextual.
Well, that's what
I
happened
changed
in
my
real
mind
life.
again. Now I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
That's
I don't.
Wow.
This is that's not even the end of the book. I'm not spoiling too much there, but there's no way they can put that into the movie, which is the most fascinating thing.
They put out a little bit of footage of that movie, and I saw some really cool reloading guns and like loading and reloading.
Loading
guns.
in midair. The whole
Yeah.
thing about Roland is that he's supposed to be like the ultimate gunslinger, which is the first book's name, and they have to make it look cool, I guess. But I like Idris Elba a lot, and I think that might be entertaining.
What if instead of all that, they just made a sequel to Wanted?
All right.
The bullet curving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think they've been talking about that for a while. They're supposed
Really?
they're supposed to even bring back Angelina Jolie.
Sure,
which
why not?
I don't know how, but okay.
I'm not gonna lie. When that movie came out, I sat in my room with my Nerf gun and practiced like flick twisting and shooting and like trying to curve Nerf bullets around, which actually kind of worked because they like already
Yeah,
dip a little
yeah.
bit. So I was just
Gotta
like,
put some English on it.
They
Yeah.
made a game based on that was like not a
was a
not a
prequel,
terrible. I don't remember.
I think the game was a
Yeah,
prequel
but
to the
but it was a
movie.
cover shooter. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And but like you could kind of do the thing. You could kind of curve bullets and have these abilities, and it
Who
was
was
like, eh.
who was in that? Clive Owen? No.
James McAvoy and
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
Oh,
Yeah.
what am I thinking of?
You're thinking of
Am I thinking of Shoot 'em Up?
Shoot 'em up.
Oh no.
Shoot 'em up. Ooh man,
Mm.
Monica Bellucci.
All right.
Go on.
She was in Shoot 'em up.
Okay.
I believe.
All right.
All right, you
And
went on.
carrots.
And who's it? Paul Giamatti was
Giamatti.
the bad
Yeah,
guy in
yes.
that? Nah, it's fun. A fun movie.
Last question before we move on. Have you sorted out your romantic life?
Yeah. So
Judging by Twitter, that became Bit of a quagmire.
In all the Persona games, you can date someone eventually if you get their social link or confidant link fire enough. I was maxing out some old ones. I had someone in mind that I wanted to be my girlfriend, and I was just like, okay, I'm ready to pull the trigger with her, but I got to fill out all these other ones. And the first person you meet in the game, who's like, okay, she's a very good.
Look, you're a nice person.
Anne is a great party member, a great friend, a really interesting character. Actually, probably one of the best ideas for a character. Her parents, she's a model, and her parents kind of travel all around the world, and she doesn't feel really at home in any place. She's half Swedish, half Japanese, and just kind of like out of this weird culture. Really funny, but I was comforting her in the 8 or 9 level confidant, and she was just like, "I love you," and I was just like, "Oh!" And then so she said, "I love you," and you have 2 options, and the first one was, she kind of says it under her breath, and then she's like, "Did you hear that?" And you can say, "I love you too," or "I didn't hear that." And I chose I didn't hear that, thinking I could get out of there. And she's like, "I said I loved you." And I was just like, man, Anne, I gave you an out, and now you made this awkward for both of us.
Look, I think you're really great.
Yeah.
You're a model. I just can't deal with that lifestyle.
No, I couldn't deal, and so I just turned off the power to the PS4 and lost about 2 hours of progress.
Wow, that sounds like every relationship I had in high school. It sounds about like that kind
you
of.
just turn off the power.
You lost 2 hours of your life.
Awkward.
So I'm back on track to my one true love.
Great. Who is it?
Haru.
All right.
What does she do?
She likes vegetables.
This is your first
that's
public
a match made in
declaration of love for her?
I don't even know why I chose her. I was just like, she was the last person on the team, so I figured I would try and see that one because I bet less people see that one, and I wanted to kind of get a unique perspective of different romance options. There are some weird romances in that game, which have been covered in a lot of places, but
yeah, I've seen it seems like this because in 4 you can kind of you level up these S-links with these characters and with the adults in the story basically, but it seems like this one just kind of goes there.
Yeah, you can definitely
that's kind of awesome.
You can definitely have sex with your
well, yeah, I was gonna ask what the net effect or the payoff is here. Is it Mass Effect, just like you're gunning for like a
I think you get an item,
a sex scene, or
I think everyone has a unique item.
I assumed it would be more mechanical
transactional model of
so you get to 10 in 4. I think it's you get to 10 whether it's a relationship or friendship. You still get the high end.
So their persona changes, but then I think in addition to dating somebody, you get actually. After I did the thing with Anne, she didn't give me anything. What the hell? She didn't give me anything.
Blew her off, dude.
But what you're saying here is that you can sleep with a teacher and they'll give you stuff for sleeping with them. Of course, it's true love. I mean to say
she does a lot more than just give you items.
Oh, I bet.
You can get a special massage.
Ooh. That does sound
It's
nice.
actually really cool because after you dungeon crawl during the day, you don't have to go to sleep at night. You can go do a night activity.
Okay.
night activities.
Yeah.
I just imagine people being mad about Doom and shit, and yet here's this game, the Japanese game, where you sleep with the teachers and you get stuff in return, and nobody's I haven't heard anybody call on CNN about this yet.
No, it's totally cool. She dresses up as a maid and comes to your house and does chores for you, and then eventually
this is actually sounds a lot like my high school days.
It's basically a document of your life.
Yeah.
All right, we need to take our first break. We will be right back. See you in a minute.
Professional flowers.
Professional flowers.
That's right.
As opposed to what?
Amateurish
Amateur
flowers.
Casual
that
flowers?
You stole off the side of the freeway.
These flowers are wearing a business suit. That's how professional they are.
These flowers are real pros.
Yep.
And you can get them sent to the door of anyone you choose.
That's some professional delivery.
Yeah. Might I suggest a mother of some kind?
Yeah.
Mother's Day is coming.
Good time of year for a mother.
Yeah. Mother's Day is definitely a flowers sort of holiday. And yeah, Pro Flowers has an offer that is timed to this holiday.
I love a good offer.
I know. Well, okay. I'll get right to it. I'll get right to this offer. These required copy points. When you send the 100 Blooms for Mom bouquet from Pro Flowers this Mother's Day, you will make a great impression.
How do you even fit 100 blooms in a box?
I don't even know.
That's a lot of blooms.
100 blooms is a whole
tremendous number.
It is a lot of blooms. It comes with a free glass vase for just $19.99 plus shipping and handling. If you want to really make a statement, you can upgrade.
What?
A premium vase.
Whoa. You know who loves a vase?
Who?
Moms.
Moms.
Yeah.
Moms, vases, it's all right there. Yeah. You can include gourmet chocolates as well for just $10 more.
Ooh.
You can choose the delivery date that you want.
How about Mother's Day?
How about Mother's Day?
Sounds good.
Maybe the day before, or,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
if you're into that sort of thing, you want to get the jump, like surprise.
Yeah.
Everyone's expecting it on Mother's
Yeah.
Day, but what if you went the day before?
And then they'll bloom. And then,
And pow.
And then company comes over and they're like, wow.
Wow.
What a thoughtful child you have.
100 blooms. Look at that. The profile flowers are guaranteed to arrive fresh and beautiful and stay that way for at least 7 days or your money back. You want to hear how to get this offer?
Hit me.
All right, to get the 100 blooms for mom with a free glass vase starting at $19.99, go to proflowers.com. Then click on the microphone in the top right corner
Microphone, got it.
and use the code BOMB.
Bomb.
That's proflowers.com. Click on the mic, type in BOMB. This stunning bouquet sells out fast, so order today.
These flowers are...
They're blooming
Flying.
out the door.
There it is. All right, Jeff.
Hello.
What's been on your video plate?
I've been taking it to the hoop with NBA Playgrounds.
Wow.
Oh, I saw that just hit Steam, didn't it?
Yeah, it's out today.
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh,
played
I didn't
a
know it's
ton of
on.
it.
Yeah,
Have you
PC
been
as
on
well.
fire?
Okay.
No, you get there's lightning. It's
You get lit.
Yeah, you
Yeah?
definitely. It's lit.
What
Yes.
does that mean?
Lightning. I think.
It means
All the
it's
kids
a-
are saying it, man.
Ben, what is...
So it's a state of
Can
mind.
you be our
It's just like
liaison?
when you're keeping it perfectly hundo,
Okay.
and it's just like
Yeah.
it's you hit a point of being lit where it's just like it's all lit, man. It's like
Is that like when everything
state
is
of
so
being.
extra?
Yeah, I was
Well,
going
you
to
know,
fucking ask
lit.
about
Extra is actually probably above lit.
Yeah.
Because like a good party is lit,
Mhm.
and then a party becomes extra once it crosses that, and you're just
Yeah.
like, this is extra.
This is too extra.
This is just so extra right now.
I'm streets ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that about you. What have you been playing?
NBA Playgrounds.
Okay.
It's
How is it?
Not great.
No?
No,
No?
it's I was.
Is it Saber Interactive?
Yeah, it is. It's Saber Interactive.
They're making a new Quake and a basketball
Yeah,
game.
and then this game they made it in like Spain and Russia, I think.
They good basketball countries though.
Yeah. It's you know, they're trying to make a 2-on-2 arcade style basketball game a la NBA Jam, and they have managed to like. It's if you do like a paint by numbers NBA Jam, you get this, but like there's an extra injection of like soul to NBA Jam and the following midway games, you know, Hang Time and Showtime and stuff like that, where that stuff just got tuned and refined to where it just felt great. This feels like it had none of that work. Where it's like by the numbers, it's like okay, yeah, no, I can pass, I can dunk, I can you know, knock people over and kind of, you know, this no rules 2-on-2 arcade style basketball game. Like all the pieces are in place, but none of it feels good.
Can you play as Bill Clinton?
No, I don't know. I haven't opened enough player card packs yet to know if Bill Clinton is in there.
So do you not get all your player?
You don't. No, it's they give you 5 packs or 3 packs out of the gate. They give you like 15 players basically. And
Current NBA players?
It's
current
real
and
players,
legends.
right?
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
real
Yeah.
players from what I've seen. And then there are some that are like players of the past. Shaquille O'Neal is in there, supposedly. I can't remember that. I got an epic card for a guy that I don't believe is playing anymore, but I can't remember who it is.
Shaq just constantly spouting factoids about how the world is flat.
I wish, no, but no, he just talks about how he's the sheriff's in town and he's ready to,
So it's that era,
Shaq-defy.
that era of Shaq.
Yeah, no, I think actually that way. I think we are still in that era. 'Cause I thought I read something today that said he was going to run for sheriff somewhere. So
I'm shocked that they are not doing 3-on-3 because there's an actual like 3-on-3 retired NBA player.
oh right,
league
that's Ice
coming
Cube's
out.
thing. Ice
Yeah.
Cube is one of the
With like Allen Iverson is
backers
actually
of that.
It's going to be the summer league
Yeah.
3-on-3 like street hoop kind of stuff. So
Like they were trying to get Kobe to do it.
and Kobe's like living in Italy or something.
I was
like
gonna say, like at some point, like all these like retired basketball players, you would think that all the big names are just like, I mean, yeah, I could do that, but
I'm
like
45,
why would
I would break my ankle.
Like, look, I want to hang out with Ice Cube as much as the next guy, trust me, but I'm Kobe Bryant, I don't need to fucking do that.
I think it's like celebrities and NBA players
that always
are like
goes well.
retired, but
Like straight
some
up
of them,
rock and
some of them
jock.
are, like,
Cotter.
what's his name from forget. But I'm just surprised I didn't try it because I've seen ads for it during NBA games, so it seems like the NBA is kind of involved.
Like they're trying
with,
to push on it. I don't know.
So
yeah, that seems whatever. We'll see how they
getting
do
the rights to like Ice Cube for a video game probably a lot tougher than just doing NBA people.
I don't know, man. No, because Ice Cube, it is Ice Cube's league.
Yeah,
like I think he's literally like part of it. So he'll just be like, yes, put me in the game based on my league.
I'm just shocked they didn't try to tie that together. Synergy, the art of synergy is fading away in these
I would like
times.
to think that even if that approach happened, that the people in charge of this league looked at that and were like, this game's not good enough, because it just doesn't feel right. And they've. Every single there's just a real I need to stop and hit this button to do it. It's just there's no flow to that game in terms of just like how you interact with it. Every control feels like it's just not happening at the. It's some of the same stuff we were saying about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, but it's not a lag thing. Yeah. It's just like there's just the feel of it is all wrong. And there's some stuff like
you feel like it's like overly animated, because I saw some gifs of it
a little
in motion,
bit.
whereas like NBA Jam was very static in terms of its animation.
But I don't think it looks great. Like I don't think I wouldn't say it has great animation or anything like that. Like the controls don't feel responsive. Like the lack of responsiveness is not from a hey, we've got to finish this animation before we can do this.
Gotcha. Yep.
It's more that like some of it just doesn't feel like you use the right stick for jukes and stuff. So you kind of like if you tap it away from the player, like he'll back off and stuff like that. And those animations feel too. Almost dramatic, like the amount of space you move back is too much. Okay. The amount of it doesn't feel balanced properly. Like when you try to push someone to knock the ball away from them, it drains your turbo meter, but it takes so much of it that there's no default non-turbo swipe like you would have in a game like NBA Jam. So it's like this thing of like, okay, the turbo meter is this tiny sliver on the bottom of the circle around my character, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to see.
Sure.
So like knowing if you have enough for the push or not is not always great.
Not good ball feel.
No, bad ball feel.
Okay.
Bad ball feel. Like the timing on it's very timing oriented in terms of of course like all basketball games are like where you let go of the shot button matters.
Yep.
And that timing like the timing at like I'm gonna let off at the peak of this dunk to let off and slam it home like that always says you're late. You're late. And it feels like they want you to, like, the timing of when they want you to do it doesn't feel like a natural point in the animation to where it just doesn't make sense. Like, a lot of it feels very arbitrary.
Okay.
And they have some other stuff just in there, just like weird gameplay stuff where you fill up this meter and you get a random power-up. So as you do well, you fill up the meter and you get a random power-up. I want to say, and I haven't played a ton of it, but in reading some of the stuff around that, one of those power-ups is just like, your next shot is worth 12 points, which in that game is like a devastating number of points.
Yeah.
And that seems crazy. But there's just, and also if you get perfect timing on the release of the shot button and make the shot, you get one extra point.
I don't like
from
that.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
so like if you just are perfect with the timing, it's like, this is now a 3 or this is now a 4-point shot because you hit a 3 with perfect timing. And that there's like arcade style sports games always play fast and loose with the rules of the sport.
Sure.
But those things feel like it's no longer the sport it's trying to emulate. Like that's too wide of a change or too weird of a change.
That's them trying to get you to play more of enough of the game so that you have that edge, and then when you play against other people, you can do that. And so it's them being like, "Oh, I have to now practice."
Now
this
I have to
timing
perfect
down.
this timing. And it seems like once you perfect the timing, you get it. Unless it's like a frame specific thing, and then maybe you're only going to kind of get close and only get it some percent of the time. But
I bet Daigo would be great at that game.
Yeah, probably. But that stuff just doesn't feel right. There's some aspects of it that just feel like, and it's little stuff that like on some level you're like, who cares? But on another level, it's like these little things are the things that help make a game feel like it's being made by people who know the thing they're trying to make.
Yeah, it seems like a kind of a simplistic game, right? It's just 2-on-2 basketball. You know how that is. You know what that is. Where like it's made is in these small details.
And then at the end of it says "end of match." It's not a basketball match. People.
I've never heard
It's not
anyone
a
from America
basketball
say
match.
basketball match.
And so it's a lot of little stuff like that, like the selecting players and some of the UI around that stuff is just like really messy.
How's the announcer?
It's a 2-man team and they're terrible.
Are they known people?
I don't know. I don't know them. One of them is named Ian. And I don't know the other guy's initials, MJ, AJ, I don't know, something like that. And and there's like it's like all the lines of dialogue are clunky in a way where it's like they probably know what has been done in this space before, and like that stuff is so burned into the lexicon of like beyond sports, like NBA Jam, like the concept of like boom shock, all this bullshit that came from that game is like deeply ingrained into I feel like arcade basketball games, but also like to the culture at all. You know, like
beer pong, heating up on fire,
on fire, like all that stuff is kind of transcended a lot of that stuff. So when you hit somebody and the announcer says like he robbed him of his masculinity, you're like, what the fuck are you saying? Like who wrote what? Really?
What?
Like literally? Like what?
It must be his shorts.
It's just a lot of really fucking weird shit like that on the commentary. It's got online and I've not tried that, but just from playing kind of the offline game, like it just doesn't feel good. It just doesn't seem like a great arcade style basketball game. Like regardless of comparison points. Yeah. When you start, I would take EA's NBA Jam re-release thing over this 10 times out of 10. Okay. I would take like original NBA Jam 10 times out of 10 too, just in terms of just how it feels. I mean, this has updated rosters and more players, and there's progression with, you earn XP for the players you play, and if you get duplicate cards, that's a quick XP boost for the players, and that'll apparently unlock more moves for them or something. But like, it just, the core feel of playing this 2-on-2 basketball game and trying to play defense, trying to play offense, and rebounds and all this other shit, like none of it feels very good at all. And that just kind of kills it out of the gate for me.
No problem.
Yeah. So I've been playing that a little bit, and
I'm sorry. Jeez.
Yeah. Well,
free to play or
are you okay?
No, I don't. No, it is not free to play.
I think it's like 15 or 20 bucks.
And I don't think they're selling, or at least when I played it pre-release, there was no system in place to buy more packs of cards. It's like every time you level up in XP, you get another pack of cards.
I'm curious who what the roster is now. It's a weird time to be. I mean, the playoffs are when everybody talking about the NBA, but the NBA playoffs this year are really weird. There's like the Cavaliers and the Warriors, and everybody else is kind of like playing for second place.
It seems like they've got like people from every team, but it's like it'll be like some teams will have 4 players in the game, some will have 6,
Warriors
and some
probably.
will be past and present, and like I think Bill Lambier's in that game.
Yeah, that dude is what you want to represent.
That dude
the NBA?
is video game basketball.
I want a re-release of that.
Yeah,
Carmelone's elbows.
Right. Yeah. So it's the roster. I can't speak to it. I haven't really seen enough of it to know. And also I don't follow modern basketball well enough to like I was opening these packs of players and just going like sure that.
Are there stat cards like weaknesses and strengths?
Yeah, they'll have like rankings in dunk and 3-pointers and blocking and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Well, playoffs are going on now. It's fun. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's a weird time to
E3's coming, so yes.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
That is how
now,
I measure.
yes.
Oh,
the
it's not the Lakers and Clippers are out, so you don't have to worry about that.
All right.
That's good. But
there was a hockey problem with E3 one year recently.
Kings? That wasn't that long.
Kings
It was 2 years
shot
ago.
in the playoffs, and that
we're at
a cop pushed me off the sidewalk, or pushed me onto the sidewalk.
Wow.
I had one
physically?
I had one foot.
Check you just like
yes, I had one foot
and...
on the sidewalk and one foot in the gutter, and
Wow.
he fucking shoved me onto the sidewalk. Because
LAPD is cleaning up the
off.
mean
I was like,
streets.
oh, all right, yeah, good, great stuff.
Kings fans apparently, rowdy.
Yeah, was that the one? Was it the Kings when there were like mounted police out?
Yeah,
on the streets there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was 2-3 years ago.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, I know. I think the Kings are out of the playoffs.
It's pretty intense.
My Capitals though. Coming back from
Caps, baby.
Caps, baby. No.
I don't know. Luke Robitaille, lucky Luke.
Caps, baby.
They always fucking lose to the Penguins, and now they were down like 3-1, and now 3-3. So Penguins.
Mario
oh my
Lemieux,
God.
all right.
Oh.
Number 66.
Sidney Crosby. He the only reason
Hate that guy.
we might come back is that he had a really bad concussion, so I can't really go out too much.
Yeah, all right.
That dude's an amazing
CTE,
player.
let's hear it.
Right, serious brain injury.
Yeah.
Call me back with NHL Street NHL.
NHL rocked the rink. They already made that game in 2000. It was fucking awesome. There's NHL Hits with a Z.
Yeah.
That's when they can't actually legally call it hits with an S, just like wings, man.
Right. There's no actual chicken in this hockey game, so they have to call it Hits. No, because they did NFL Blitz and then they did NHL Hits.
Oh man.
There's that Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey. There was an arcade game that also came to N64 that is basically the NBA Jam style of game for hockey.
What did Gretzky's up to nowadays? He coached for a bit, but I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Heard of him in a long time.
Hanging out,
enjoying having
selling
more
pickup trucks. He owns
yeah.
a Dodge dealership somewhere.
Do you think it's weird for him when he like goes to pay with something, goes to buy something and pays with his own money that's his face on it because he's on money in Canada?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's on some bill or something.
living legend.
I guess he made it.
Do you think he just like holds it up to his face? And goes, oh,
Like they check for
here
ID.
you go.
He just slides the
They're
bouncer.
carding him all the time. Like, yeah, here you go.
That dude does not buy his own drinks in Canada, I'm sure.
Probably not.
I would buy Wayne Gretzky a drink.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's got more like assists than most other people have points. He's crazy. He's the statistical outlier of like every. I go to Wayne Gretzky, one of the best athletes of all time in
greatest who
any
ever lived.
team sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Holy shit.
So yeah, I've been playing some of that basketball game.
Let's talk about a good game.
And I've been playing some Prey.
Oh. Well,
what good
that
game?
seems all right
what
too.
good game were you
Prey
talking?
seems all right.
What good game do you want to
I want
talk
to talk about Spaceplan.
Oh, Spaceplan. Yeah, Spaceplan. So Spaceplan's out on Steam and mobile.
Yes.
It's a clicker,
Yes.
but it's
a good clicker.
It is $3.
Trust me on this one.
Also,
it's good.
it is available for free in a web browser,
Yeah.
unless they took that down when Devolver published this clicker to Steam, which is really crazy.
Have you compared the two versions? Did you play through the free one?
I played through I played through it when it came
Are
out.
they just the same thing?
Yeah, it's like story wise,
exactly?
it's the same thing. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of the same look and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Spaceplan for Steam. I've not played the mobile version.
So I played
has
about
a soundtrack.
Okay.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah. I played a good bit of that game for about 48 hours on my phone, and then I broke the shit out of my phone.
Good call.
So I didn't finish Spaceplan.
That was actually part of the game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The thing is super meta.
Yeah, there's some goofy shit that happens along the way in Spaceplan.
Yeah, like that.
In terms
That
of just
thing
I should check it out.
surprises you in some fun ways.
yeah, it's a fun little goofy sci-fi
It's,
story.
it is dry and British as all hell.
yeah.
Having not read ever Hitchhiker's Guide, I have to assume it's kind of taking after that.
Nah,
Oh.
Hitchhiker's Guide is like funnier and and more
This is-
deliberate. Whereas
This
this
is
just kinda,
not funny. It's
This is
just like,
this
it's
is
got
just kind
some
of cracking
it's got
wise
some-
around the edges.
Yeah, it's got some clever, like your ship computer's got some clever lines.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of telling a story. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily.
I don't know where it goes
Like
because
there
I
are
didn't finish it.
reveals in that, which a lot of clickers don't have,
Yeah.
and it's neat.
Yeah.
And also, they're not trying to upsell you on currency doublers and
Right.
all this other shit. So
There are no microtransactions. It's just, and I assume it has an end, right? Like you finish it.
You finish it. You do.
Yeah, I was like really enjoying it until
I did finish it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is, like, as someone who played it in the browser and finished it, like loading this up and going, yep,
That's- yeah.
like the
of
idea
that
that
again.
it like runs in a browser is I don't know I don't know what they're doing, but like
Yeah.
and that it has a soundtrack, not enough. Especially
if
I
you
was
played
thinking
it
about-
already.
I was thinking about
Yeah.
buying it for my phone
Yeah.
because that's where you play clickers,
Right.
is where the toilets are.
That was
And-
my feeling.
And then I was like, well, the one thing they did is add the thing that they did that at least I could see is they added a soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to have the sound on my phone
Hmm.
while I'm doing this. So whatever. So it just didn't, but it's neat. I might recommend if the browser version is still available that you could play that as well.
Soundtrack is pretty good.
But it is $3.
Sound design is
It's
good.
$3. It's
The
a
phone
pretty good
interface
little
is
thing.
really good.
Yeah.
Also,
They look good.
It does some clever stuff around like I don't really want to say because it's fun to see these
Yeah,
reveals. but,
there's fun
like,
stuff.
like the way you buy upgrades, the timing of buying upgrades
Yeah.
in some spots. Like there's some like clever mechanics there.
Yeah, it's a very
It's,
clever kind of riff
yeah.
on the kind of clicker.
And
concept
I just like the idea of a clicker you can finish in like 3 days and then not play again.
yeah.
And like that has an end to it.
I have an auto clicker installed on my laptop, so you can just kind of the mouse just clicks itself, and then you can kind of burn through that stuff really quick.
So you're more of an idle mode than an active mode.
At that point, yeah.
Like have you ever gotten into like Clicker Heroes builds?
Yeah,
have
I
you ever,
read
like-
up on it, and I was like, "This is dumb."
Yeah.
But I don't want to fucking
Hybrid style.
Like I don't want to fuck up my mouse.
Yeah.
You know, like all these extra clicks. Like what the fuck? Why would I do that?
I have a mouse that has a thumb pad on it, and it's a SteelSeries Sensei, and I've actually worn away the thumb pad to the point where I can see the plastic underneath. And it's thick too. It's like half an inch of pure plastic, and I look at this sometimes like
Half an inch of pure plastic.
You mouse hard.
I do, dude. I fucking does it not play itself? There's no
That's
unless you. It can.
I'm
suppose.
not sure about that.
All right.
And then Prey.
Prey.
Which
Prey came out.
I hear good word of mouth.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
From
I
what I've
know.
played
I know.
of it.
Chris Avalone wrote some of it. Like was working on the script, and he's one of the few like game writers I follow from project to project. So, yeah, that a lot of good. I haven't seen any of it. I'm kind of keeping myself pure, but I hear good things.
It's very BioShock, although I keep seeing people saying like, no, it's more System Shock 2 than BioShock. It's
Yeah.
like, what does that mean? Like,
Yeah,
you're kind of splitting hairs at a certain point. I mean, yes, it's on a space station. Like, yes,
You could kind of
you're
just
picking
say,
from hacking and Psy.
right. It is.
Like,
It is
yes,
one of
those-
those games.
Yes, those things are more from System Shock 2 than whatever. Like, it's that type of game. It's play how you want.
Yeah,
As the tooltip
we have
says.
provided both a corridor for you to open up with your strength skill and
Yeah.
a keypad for you to hack.
Yep.
Either way, you're getting in this room,
There might also be an air duct.
but how you get in there is up to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't mean to.
No, it's good.
Talk shit about
it. Is,
it.
it
I
is
think that
good
stuff
It is a
works.
good one of those types of games.
Yeah. That game is incredibly unsettling, like in a way that I have not had a lot of games do.
Like horror?
like
No,
the
horror- in a
combat
horror
stuff.
sense?
The core idea of any of these fucking objects in the world can suddenly turn into an enemy, which you then nullify like a couple hours in with some abilities.
Oh, are there ways to reveal that stuff?
yeah,
Okay, I haven't seen that.
But there are two things about it. One, the idea that anything you're looking at could suddenly spring to life and be an enemy,
Such as a roll of toilet paper.
such as a fucking coffee cup or whatever the fuck.
A bucket, stool. I mean, it just. I thought it was kind of comical because it just leads to situations of you running around just like hitting every inanimate object you find.
Yeah, but also like they will sometimes like burst out at you before you
Yeah.
get to them.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of just like I'm walking up on this and this could be a thing. It totally is.
Yeah.
Or it's not, or whatever. But yeah.
I've had situations where I'd like walk past something and I didn't know, and all of a sudden the stinger like comes up, the musical cue, and it's like you're looking around, you still don't see anything.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, something just transformed. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah,
it is.
that happens a lot, but then that leads to I think
A little more
like
tension.
a little more tension.
They're incredibly nimble, and
Yeah.
they will pop out of their other form and then immediately jump out of your view. So you actually they're
Yeah.
around, but they skitter off somewhere.
It is.
It's
So
hard to-
that is then met with combat that I actually think is not great.
yeah,
Like
and
it's
doesn't seem-
like the feel of it is frustrating.
Yeah.
Like I think it would. I see what you were. So you played it on console and then switched to PC.
Yeah.
You were saying the combat on console was rough.
well, it's just PS4 specifically. Apparently, Xbox does not have the same problems.
But also like I just when you think about how nimble the enemies are in that game, like the idea of playing that with a gamepad seems fucked.
So when I started over on PC, and I was just like, I'm going to play mouse and keyboard because then I'll be able to keep up with the enemies. But they still, they still evade
like,
you.
It's like then it just becomes this like jittery mess, and I'm like now I'm wondering like, well, it doesn't fit in with the core idea of the game and how you become more skillful in that game, like the skills tree and how that stuff works. Like there are things on that tree that would make you really good at combat. Like the beginning of that game, you kind of think like, oh well, this scientist maybe isn't great holding this pre-order shotgun I've got. But then you're like, oh wait, actually, with the core concept of this game, she would be very good at wielding a shotgun,
or could become that way.
Or could become that way. Yeah. And yeah, so I just think like the weapon feel, both from the melee with the wrench and then the guns and stuff in that game, feel you feel ill-equipped to deal with the stuff that you are facing.
How nimble and strong the enemies are. Like they do a lot of damage.
And so like it feels like to mitigate that, they've then given you this glue gun that just shoots out stuff that immobilizes
freeze
them.
the enemies in
And you're like,
place.
okay, well I can just freeze them and walk up and club them.
Yeah.
And that
Does
is
that seem like the
fun.
core loop of the combat? Like that's what they're trying to get you to do? Because obviously, like a face-to-face kind of confrontation doesn't always end up in your favor.
So that's the thing is there's definitely tooltips that are just like, hey, maybe run away.
Yeah.
And yeah, but that seems like only because resources are limited.
Okay.
Where like you aren't always going to have the bullets that you want to have,
Right.
Unless you're shooting very carefully and all that sort of stuff. So it
yeah,
becomes
I found that stun gun. Have you found the stun pistol? The electric pistol?
No, I found a silenced pistol.
Okay, this shoots electricity basically.
Okay.
It's good on robots and stuff like that. But yeah, like I found it and I used it up immediately, and I never found any more ammo for it after like another almost 2 hours of playing. I never found more ammo for it.
Is it randomized or?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, but it's just like there's a weird scarcity to some of that stuff.
Yeah, so it seems like that's but they give you copious amounts of the glue
The
gun
glue stuff,
ammo
yeah.
because that's also something you can shoot down and then jump on.
can make, like,
so anytime
platforms
there's any
out of
kind of environmental or platforming thing, it's like there's ammo right there, and
It
you're like,
seems like-
oh, I need this ammo to put out this fire, to do this, to do this, to do this.
Yeah, it seems like that's good for, one or two enemies at a time. You have the glue gun and you can conserve your ammo that way. But then, like, towards the end of our quick look, we got we encountered 3 or 4 enemies at the same time, and it was just like, okay, can't glue these guys because by the time we start to glue them, the other guys are already on you.
Yeah.
But then at that point, the pistol didn't seem strong enough to deal with the enemies, so it was
right. So you're just like burning through pistol ammo, and there's a weapon upgrade system, but it's hard to get a feel for. Well, you can only upgrade the weapons so far unless you spec in a weapon upgrade direction to unlock additional levels. Which is weird, and then you're like, okay, well, wait,
like Fallout 4ish,
sort of, kind of, yeah. And then there's also this other aspect of these weapon upgrade kits. You have no idea how scarce they are.
Yeah, so
should I be saving them for later guns?
Yeah, that's why I wasn't upgrading anything because I was like, are you going to be able to craft these upgrade kits at a certain point? Or am I
and
only
like this pistol sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to upgrade it.
Yes. That was the other thing. I was waiting to get a weapon that I actually wanted to upgrade.
Which is weird to look at, like Doom, which had a really good weapon upgrade thing where you never felt like you're not. If you put points in a weapon, you never felt like you're going to waste it because you knew there are going to be more of those things that are kind of universal.
Yeah,
which is really good.
Well, I
weapon
mean,
upgrade system
Doom is such as just a balls out action game.
Sure.
You know, this is much more of a methodical, like kind of creeping thing.
Yeah, so it's like I don't think that's necessarily a problem with the game.
No,
like,
I think
should I spend the weapon upgrade kits or whatever? But it's one of those things early on where you're like, I'm not sure what I should be, or I guess like faced with combat, like I'm not really sure how I should proceed because it doesn't feel like the stealth is great.
Yeah,
like it's got indicators over the heads of the enemies.
And you get a damage bonus for like your first wrench hit after or when they don't see you.
Right,
like you can get a bunch of damage that way.
But like in terms of just like staying hidden doesn't always seem like a great option or a fun option. Like the stealth hasn't seemed like too great for me. I don't know. Like
I'll always be crouching.
Yeah,
standard advice.
Is this the Dishonored 2 studio or?
It's I mean it's Arcane,
but it's like
but
not
this one was Austin, right? I think this one was Austin, and the other one was France.
Okay.
Dishonored 2 was France,
I guess,
and this one came out of Austin. I believe that's the case.
Keep track, but it's really neat. I think
it seems pretty good. Yeah,
good
like
story stuff.
Yeah, like they do some pretty good reality bending stuff early on, and I wonder if they're going to get back to that or not.
Right,
because they're like the whole game is built around a premise that would allow them to like toy with what your notions are of reality and like who you are and like when you are.
Yeah, like the opening of that game is really strong. Like there's some like great early reveal of just like, oh fucking holy shit, where like by doing that the whole everything is on the you know you're uncertain about every single aspect of that game.
I am waiting for some like crazy reveals to happen.
So you start by putting on a VR headset and you go into VR.
I mean,
I still need to get through.
It might as well be.
I still need to get through Soma 2, which is one of those other games that has a great.
So good.
I know. I mean, I got like halfway through.
Not everything about it is good, but like the good parts of it are so good.
Yeah, I need to go back and finish that.
So yeah, I don't know. I find myself wishing that like the combat in Prey felt a little better.
I'm with you. Like some of the combat just feels kind of antiquated. You know, like there's no aiming of the guns. Like you can't zoom in. There's no iron sights.
There's a zoom button. You hit X on the keyboard, but it's like a lock-on zoom or something. There's a
for shooting or just the scope. I know there's the zoom with just like the scope that lets you zoom in on stuff.
Maybe it is
like
I don't
think you can aim with like you just it's just kind of hip firing that feels sort of imprecise.
Yeah, there's no hold up the gun thing. At least with the two weapons the two actual guns.
But that may all be intentional. Like they may have meant for you to feel like slightly underpowered.
Yeah, I think that
as you skill up and like kind of pick how you want to be better.
That does seem like a deliberate thing in the early game, but like as I'm kind of moving through the first 5 hours or whatever, like it's hard to see the path of just like, okay, like now I can kind of look at what the full skill tree is and see what these abilities are, but yeah, I don't know. It's very uneasy, and that's like maybe a good thing in some ways because like there's a scarcity to the ammo. You can craft more, but then you're always uncertain, like, well, how much of this crafting material is going to be around?
Right.
You can also use that to craft straight up skill points. So wait, I probably should craft more of those because that's going to be the thing that's going to let me open more doors or get through more ventilation ducts.
You can also use those materials to repair stuff that needs to be repaired. Like it does feel like a min-max of like, how do I want to spend these resources because they're not infinite.
Yeah, so you definitely get the impression that like there are a lot of ways I could be playing this game, but like it's at least for me, it's too early to get a sense of just like, I'm not sure how I want to be playing this.
Right.
And as a result, I'm maybe dying a few more times than I would like because it's like I don't feel
like comfortable. Maybe it's just a dumb anxiety, but I'd start to worry that like jack of all trades is maybe not a viable way to play it because there just might not be enough stuff for you to dabble in everything. You kind of like need to pick one or two and focus.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's I don't know. It's hard to say, but it's really fascinating, and I think it is. Like I said, like there's a feeling of dread to that game that I think like most games fail at. The games that are trying to do scary stuff and can only get.
Because it is punishing. Like the enemies just do a shit ton of damage, and they're very fast and hard to track.
The jump scares are jump scares, but they are, I feel, really effective in a way that like they usually aren't in other games.
It's even more fucked up because when you jump in space, you go extra high, and it takes longer to recover.
Yeah,
I like their weird alternate history.
Yeah,
where JFK didn't die.
Yeah,
and like America and the Soviets worked together to build a space station in the 80s, like this weird Art Deco space installation. That's just
I want to play it after every other game that I have not finished yet.
Yeah,
I just restarted playing Horizon last night, and I got right back into that. I only played like an hour the first time, so I now just want to get through all that and then everything else.
So see you in 60 or 80 hours, I guess.
Good time for games.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we'll have a little bit of a downturn before E3, but doesn't seem like it's stopping.
Yeah,
Injustice is out next week.
Yeah, every week there's something that I'm adding to my backlog.
Yeah. Well,
what's
the first half
Jeff
hour.
Minter's game is out this week. I haven't seen
Plebeius.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. But
what's in your front log?
My front log?
Yeah.
I
played. You don't ask a guy about his front log on
maybe not on air.
We're all friends here.
Doe and Fame get my log loaded.
Played a little bit of Prey, as Jeff mentioned. Yeah, that's a really strong start to that game. I haven't gotten too far into it. I'm not finding the jump scares as effective, I guess, because they seem to be fucking random. Like I will actually walk into a room and like the soundscape changes a little bit. Like you can hear all the machine noise in there and something is off with that fucking audio. That's really just like unnerving to me.
This seems like a place where they'd put a monster.
Yeah, I guess so. So like it tenses you up a little bit. So it's not as effective for me anyway.
But I think that tension is pretty effective too. In terms of just like I know there's definitely something here.
But it feels manufactured.
Okay.
To me, and I'm not. I haven't gotten much past the glue gun and wrench combo so far, so we'll see how that game plays out. But other than that, a lot of Lethal League. Rory's got a dog at home that loves him too much. I've got a son actually that loves me too much. And he will sometimes let me play stuff, but Lethal League and Mario Kart actually are what he likes to just sit down and watch me play. So this is the first time I've actually gone through like the challenge, like the story-ish mode.
Is there a single player thing?
There is, there's a bunch of single.
It's hard.
Well, it's hard. Like I got stuck at like Candyman, which is like 5 or 6 levels in, and I just could not beat them until like last night. And
you play against each of the characters once, and then they start adding like weird stuff, kind of like a Super Smash Brothers.
Okay, I was going to ask, does it do a good job of training you in the kind of higher level play?
I feel a lot better after playing that. When we started playing on console again, I really needed to get my legs under me, and I just something about it didn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
But I think I got a little bit better at it over the weekend.
It's like
playing the single player stuff.
Playing it on UPF for the first time in like what's it been, like 3 years or something since we streamed that game.
Something like that.
This moved down here for sure.
Like trying to get back into it and like absorb all the high level concepts you were throwing out as we were just trying to get the basic timing down and stuff was like kind of hard to take in. So.
Yeah. Like I didn't even know about the quick drop until you mentioned it, Ben. So I'm feeling better about that. I cannot wait for it to fucking get released out in the wild with all my console friends that have never really played it, even though I've bought them a fucking copy on Steam. I don't know how many goddamn times, and they won't just fucking install. Dicks.
I hope that thing has
really good.
legs on console. Yeah, like some people in the UPF chat were saying like it's almost impossible to just like jump online and get a game on Steam at this point.
Yeah, I've been hearing that as well. But I mean,
feel like that's for most games on Steam.
Yeah,
exactly.
That will happen.
New and old.
Yeah. We'll see how that shakes out. But I'm super excited. That's out this week. Yes, it is.
Today?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, or the 10th or something.
The Quake Champions beta is going live for everybody later this week, right? Is that here? The 12th or something?
Like for everybody?
Or beta for
like open beta?
Yeah.
Like just anybody can download. The way they've been spraying codes out to people that are in it, to just like, hey, here's 3 more codes to give to your friends.
Yeah, they sent out a press release saying that like they're doing a wide stress test coming up here pretty soon. So that'll be back online, I guess.
Okay. I guess we can.
I was just curious. Talking about games.
Did you play some of it?
No, I still haven't. That's why I want to.
Okay.
I don't get the codes that you guys get.
I don't get the
codes that they get either.
We got some codes for you.
Yeah,
all right.
I distributed codes this weekend.
Yeah, the code stuff only comes from like when I registered for PAX as press, and that is few and far between at this point. I haven't been in PAX in a while. We should go.
PAX
every day is PAX for me.
Yeah.
I guess that's it for games this week, right?
I think.
Am I forgetting anything?
So yeah, all my eyes are on like Injustice. I cannot.
Is that next week?
I think so.
Is that kind of just coming out? Or
Mm,
did I miss a bunch of
There
marketing?
was
or
a
have they
big
just not
lull
been
as
doing
far
a
as,
lot?
They've
like,
been putting out videos of all
coverage.
these super moves. I've seen a lot of
Well,
those.
yeah,
on
there's a lot
YouTube.
of that
They've been-
stuff.
But like it all kind of happened lately. There was
Yeah.
a good long period there, like late last year, that there was kind of nothing.
Yeah, long lull.
And they brought it to GDC and let people play it there. They did
Mhm.
that beta around that same time,
Right.
and then on the heels of that, I
Yeah, the
think they
beta was
started
pretty
getting
quick.
back to like, hey, we've got some characters to announce.
They-
But I want to say like the last 2 months, maybe it's been pretty solid. Like weekly, they're having weekly streams and stuff showing off new characters and.
They announced everyone's favorite DC character is coming to the game.
Oh,
Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
nice. Is that a big deal? Were there not MK characters?
Scorpion
in the
was
first
in the
one?
first one.
Okay.
Yeah, but so they announced their DLC characters, and he's one of those.
And they started teasing some other ones, and some people have started they posted a bunch of silhouettes of characters, and people started piecing out like, oh, that's obviously Black Manta.
Yeah, that headgear is kind of a a giveaway.
Was Freddy Krueger in the first one? Was that the?
That was in
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat.
Kombat.
Okay, yeah.
9 or X? I
Yeah.
think it was 9 that he was in. Right?
Yeah.
I forget.
Yep.
It was like the Predator
I'm
in X.
crack with my
Yes.
knowledge of fighting games.
So
That's
is Jason
Yeah,
Voorhees
on top of the game.
Alien, Jason.
Yes, right.
Alien was super overpowered too.
and Leatherface.
Oh, that's right. They had
right.
that was the game that just had that big buff, like muscular
Yeah.
xenomorph.
Yes.
This,
Yeah.
like weird bodybuilder alien.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
If the alien eats a
He got
bodybuilder,
ripped
it
lean.
becomes
Yeah.
becomes an ant.
Yeah, as someone who doesn't have like a huge affinity for any superhero stuff, them saying, "Hey, Sub-Zero's in the game," I'm like, finally, someone good.
Someone I could play. What's the level of hype for that thing? Like, what's the word on the FGC?
Well, as the expert on that, no, I don't know. I get the impression that like the people that check for NetherRealm games are checking for this one.
is that
and
that's
kinda-
just kind of the same crowd every game?
NetherRealms
point.
always does a
Yeah.
really good job of supporting their games in the tournament scene. They often have big pop bonuses
Yeah.
at like
Yeah.
large tournaments,
They
which
support that stuff. They've announced like a championship series for this already. So
They had some esports announcement last week
Yeah.
where they like we're gonna have multiple series, like some that are designed to get people that are not pro level into a tournament, which
that could be
is
cool.
ambitious. We'll see.
Checking IDs
We'll
at the
see.
door, make sure you're not a
Yeah, are
ringer.
you a registered pro? Amateurs only. It's like the Olympics now.
so
the Olympics
congratulations
used to be.
to Sonic Fox in
Right.
advance for winning Evo
Yeah.
with Injustice 2.
That guy's amazing.
He's so good.
God damn. That's a fucking legit prodigy.
Yeah.
that
What
Sonic
does he
Fox guy.
what does he play?
Mostly NetherRealm stuff.
Yeah,
But,
he's-
we've seen him in Street Fighter as well, and
Really?
like he just fucking he can
How
just pick
old is
shit
he?
up.
Is he?
He's a kid.
He's like 7. No, no. I want. Yeah, he's young. I want to say he's under 18. But
Okay.
Yeah,
he's
he's very young and just like
That's how you know it's
Dominates
esports when it's like
everything.
some 16-year-old
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere and starts destroying.
Yeah.
Then that's legit.
The winner of the World Pinball Championship was apparently like 15
Oh,
from this
wow.
year. It was really weird. I was looking at the video of it. They had over the shoulder cams like down, but no audio from the actual table. I don't think it was mic'd up, so you're just kind of looking at people clicking around.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
what's the
apparently
commentators.
I don't know.
I would love to hear some high level pinball
Ramp
commentary.
shot. Okay, you're looking at the ramp combo. You want to?
Oh, he nailed it!
I did.
He nailed it!
It's a weird format though. They did like 8 tables and they had to play every one. They averaged up the scores or
Yeah.
something like that. It was a really weird.
I think that is the traditional pinball tournament format.
Yeah,
What was the do you know what the final table was?
I
or-
do not.
Yeah.
It was
Simpsons pinball.
I like the idea that pinball commentary is more like golf than like football
Yeah.
or something. It's
Okay,
like,
all
oh,
right.
he's going for a medium plunger.
Passing from the left to the right flipper there. Expertly done.
It's
Expertly
like
done.
super sedate.
Yeah.
But yeah, 15-year-old kid against all these like grizzled old veterans, and apparently I forget his name, but
That's kind of awesome.
Oh, speaking of pinball and Evo, I'm excited in particular because for the first time in like 4 years, California Extreme is not the same weekend as Evo.
Oh
Nice.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I might be able to enjoy some old pinball and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
might head down there.
I have not been in some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was up north.
No, it's like
It's
Santa
in
Clara.
Santa Clara.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well,
It's like
Let's go.
It's like next door to Great America.
Have you been to Evo?
Yes.
Oh shit! There's somebody on staff who goes to Evo now.
I've been
Yeah.
to 2
What,
Evos.
what are we gonna do?
I've been to some Evo.
Have you been?
Yeah.
Oh, I
shit.
Okay. just not
Yeah.
since. Just not
He
since
just
you've
never
been,
made it out of pools, so
just-
Brad never took
right.
him
just,
seriously.
just not since you've been.
I've always
here.
been like working it though. Like
Yeah.
the first time I went there was to help shoot a documentary and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, that was fun. And that was like the first big like Street Fighter 4 year. So that's when it like
Oh.
really fucking exploded.
09?
It was it was 09, I think. So if you guys are inclined, go watch I Got Next. I helped shoot that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I
Yeah,
can
thank
recommend it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent.
I'm excited for Injustice 2. That beta seemed fun.
Yeah.
I want to see how their weird fucking loot concept plays out once it's out in the wild and all that stuff. It seems risky or potentially bad, but
yeah, especially with those
it
bonuses
looks
like
neat.
turned
I don't know.
on
Yeah,
by default.
right? With the bonuses stuff turned on.
Is that
that's really
great
cool.
looking game?
Is that
like,
stuff like fight relevant?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and
like
it seems kind of substantial, which
Yeah.
is
Like
kinda
after every
scary.
fight, you get another piece of gear,
Huh.
and the gear has stats.
Yeah.
So
Sure. I mean, they have to have just a flat like tournament mode, right? Without any of that
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
Or I mean, they can just mandate like the
Or they might just turn it
organizers
off by
can
default
just-
and ranked. Like I don't know if
That's-
they've actually said
Or
what they're.
can't
That's
the
my hope.
organizers just say
Yeah.
like unequip all your shit? Like
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I
bring,
mean,
bring in a
be able
clean
to
character.
tell,
But
like after a game. if
yeah, when
somebody
you're
had
playing
equipment.
online, the way that it worked in the betas, both players had to like opt in, like at the menu or something like that, and not everybody did. So I don't know how it's
But
gonna
that
shake
but
out,
that was
really.
unranked, right?
That was,
so
well, yeah, because
so-
it was just beta. We don't know how it's going to work just yet.
Yeah, when we talked to them at E3, they were like, we would like to have the gear stats on all the time.
They seemed really married to the
Yeah.
concept of keeping the gear in.
But if they can't figure out the right way to balance it, they were always open to the idea of turning it off. They just hadn't made the decision. So.
Is the stuff really noticeable? Is it like WoW style? Like those are cool shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Like man, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah,
in a
like,
fighting
it's
game
weird
context.
when you think about like Injustice 1's like add-ons and stuff like that. It was a ton of costume DLC.
And they were
Yeah.
really good costumes as well. Like
So
a
now that
lot
it's
of
like-
fan favorite
yeah.
stuff there. And I don't know if they're gonna be continuing with that. It seems like
There
a lot
are-
of the costume stuff is just like stuff that just bolt on, and it's kind of minor in relation to like some of the big costumes that they had.
They did
before.
say with like the season pass or something like that, there was some kind of gear item that would be equipable by multiple characters as
Okay.
part of that. So it
That's
seems
weird.
like it's like I don't know what that.
It's like general breastplate or something.
That's me,
Yeah.
General breastplate. Fall in line, soldier. We're going to war against the evil
The
Superman.
the
I don't know.
skins.
Yeah. Yes. That's I don't know. It's a bold, strange move that maybe it'll go their way and maybe
Sounds neat.
backfire. Like
Also,
I,
it sounds like something that would naturally map to Mortal Kombat. Like
Yeah.
just loot. Like
yeah,
gear,
Oh,
gear
yeah.
for Mortal Kombat characters like that.
I could get
That
into
sounds
that.
cool.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's something as someone who doesn't necessarily like. I think that's a good addition for like the more casual scene around
Yes.
a fighting game. It's like people that just want to play a game
That-
and have a
that's
good
what I
time, like
mean,
the
you know,
loot and
it's like-
stats. Like that's fun. Like
something
whatever.
for me, because
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm
And
never
it's like
going to
a
play
kind
a
of
tournament.
good handicap system. It's not like, the traditional fighting game handicap, right, is like health. You have less health or do more damage. But
Right.
with this, you can just be like, if your friend is really good, you can get some equipment and, have him not wear any equipment, and it's a little more even playing field.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for that. I think for everything but the tournament scene.
Right.
And the
I mean-
vast majority of people that purchase those games are not part of that tournament scene. So it's like the opposite of the Street Fighter V launch, where they're like, our esports story is solid.
Yep.
Everything else is a fucking
What else you
on
got?
fire or gone.
Oh, nothing.
Whereas this just seems like, I don't know. People like to have fun.
Capcom put out a beta for their new
CFN.
CFN.
Yeah.
And all characters. It's cool, but they unlocked all characters, so you can just get in there and kind of test out their new.
Because it's got new balance
that
in it
work,
too, right?
You have to like own the
is
game.
it just
right?
netcode?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like
Mostly, yeah.
It's mostly netcode.
Okay.
Like some of it is like them finally, or have they done it already? But like some of the rage quit stuff
Yes.
is wrapped up in this beta, I think too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Important to note that
Getting
they're
there.
not bringing the CFN to the MVC.
Yeah, we mentioned
Yeah.
that. That's,
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah.
Capcom continues to baffle. All right, we need to take another quick break before we come back with some news and emails. See you in a minute.
Why not make a smarter choice when it comes to shaving?
Oh, I was going to say, there's a lot of smarter choices I could be making.
Well, I'd start with something that is well within your control and
Let's-
right in front of you, like
let's,
shaving.
Let's start with the one that involves waving a blade around my face.
Yeah, that's probably
That's probably a good
yeah.
one to address up front.
Those blades are expensive, and you have to go out to a store, and then they're always like, I don't know, people, I guess, shoplift them because they're so damn expensive.
Ugh.
So you got to hit a button, and then someone walks over and goes, "Oh, you want the razors?" And then they leave, and they come back with a key, and then they unlock it, and then you get to choose razors like you're some kind of criminal.
What do you think people are doing with shoplifted razors?
Selling them on the internet. I don't know.
Oof.
What if you just got them off the internet straight away?
Okay, like legal and professional like?
Yeah.
Okay.
At a proper price.
Yeah.
A great price, and they were conveniently delivered right to your door.
Legitimate razors.
Exactly. And you don't have to deal with disposable razors. None of these weird, cheap, low-quality shaves, you know?
Ugh.
You can use the DSC Executive Razor with Dr. Carver's shave butter.
The Dr. Carver?
The Dr. Carver came through and said, "Here's my shave butter."
Carver and Sons, established 1936.
The blade just gently glides, giving you a smooth shave. The shave butter is transparent for a more precise shave as well, which is not, no foam in the way.
Yeah.
You can kind of see the face and go, "Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm shaving."
Invisible.
That's the power of what Dr. Carver has gifted upon us, humanity.
Full transparency in face shaving. That's what I like to see.
Exactly. For a limited time, new members can get their first month of the Executive Razor and a tube of Dr. Carver's shave butter for only $5 with free shipping. After that, razors are just a few bucks a month. That's a $15 value for only $5.
Wow.
Okay, so just here it is. In your first month box, you will get a weighty handle for these blades.
Okay.
Some of those weight on it,
Yeah.
something real serious.
Some heft.
A full cassette of 4 cartridges
Let me dig out my tape deck.
and a tube
Of?
Dr. Carver's shave butter.
Man, I love that guy.
After your first month, replacement cartridges ship automatically at their regular price. No hidden fees, no commitments. Cancel anytime you like.
The Razor subscription.
That's right. Subscribe to Razors.
Man.
No one gets magazines anymore,
know.
so why not get Razors?
They're too busy shaving.
Exactly. You can get this offer by going to dollarshaveclub.com/bombcast. That's dollarshaveclub.com/bombcast.
Now that's a sharp deal.
Oh.
All right. In the news of the world this week, there it is. Far Cry, anybody?
Yes.
Would you play a new Far Cry?
5. They say the Primal Studio's making it, right?
5 or 6?
I thought it was.
Would
This
you
is
call
going to be 5.
Would you call it 5 or 6?
It's
I
gonna
would
be-
call it 5 if that means not
If
counting
you were
Primal
if
as
you were
a
Ubisoft, would you call it
Yeah,
5?
I
would
think
call
they,
five.
five. 5. Or 5.5 if you count Blood Dragon.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
5 Cry?
5 Cry.
What about Further Cry?
cry
Cry hard.
Cry
Like
farther.
Cryest.
Uh-huh.
Too religious.
What about Far Cry?
It's a bunch of branding experts in here. There may be a new one coming out this year. It may
Oh, really?
It may be set in the well, whatever, dude. They put out
you're
3
right,
of them in
you're
the
right.
last 4 years. Like,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if they took a couple years off.
They can't do another Primal after Horizon, right? Like that game kind of like killed the.
They can't do another Primal after Primal.
How about
I thought
actually?
you kind of were like okay on that game. No?
I thought it was okay, but you can't. I wouldn't imagine them going back to that setting.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
they went back to the well a lot. Okay, I'm going to actually read the whole rumor now, which is that like the internet has been on fire for the last few days, saying like it's set in the Wild
It's
West,
always on
like suck it, Red Dead Redemption 2. Like they're setting it up as this big confrontation now
No.
between open world Wild West games. But the reasoning behind this being a Wild West game seems kind of flimsy. It's based on like promotional footage being shot in some town in Montana that's supposed to be for some unannounced game that everybody has like put dots together to say is a new Far Cry game in the Wild West. Jason Schreier from Kotaku has been looped into this stuff, and then he came out and said, a lot of bad reporting out there about the next Far Cry. I have not heard anything about it being a Western, just that it's set in Montana.
I've seen some Montana stuff come my way as well, but I don't know how legit any of it is.
I thought the rumor was that it was set in like a town that's been taken over by like bandits, and you're the only
I think
cool
that's
person
the
there or
case.
something.
Do you guys remember me reading an email from somebody talking about this exact thing? Like
I remember
I
vaguely.
feel like
Okay.
yeah, we got
Yeah.
something in a while ago.
I couldn't remember if I actually read that or not, but I've got it here. It's some guy wrote in saying his friend works at Ubisoft Toronto, and that
Was
it's
this like months ago? How long?
it was
ago?
December.
Okay.
So this was pushing 6 months ago. But
Well, they already did.
according to him, the game will be set in present day. The protagonist is a cop who is trying to run down a rebel group that has taken over some ranches and whatnot in the Montana region of the U.S.
They've already done cocaine with Wildlands. They're going to do meth with this one probably. Like you're nothing but Breaking Bad. That would make sense.
Yeah.
It could be cool.
The rebel group has taken over a large region in the Northwest, and your vigilante-esque character is tasked with the duty of stopping them. So that's what this person wrote in.
Obviously, what happens when
to us a few months.
Doesn't seem like there's room for a lot of animals. Which
be-
I feel like is a big Far Cry
like
necessity.
hunting,
There's gotta be some
hunting and
bears in
skinning and
Montana.
upgrades.
Yeah.
and
There's
there's
but
like
prairie dogs,
mountain
out
lions,
there.
prairie dogs.
But,
Yeah.
but in Montana, there are also
Buzzards.
stores you can go to buy shit.
Well, I don't
as
know if
opposed
you've
to
been to Montana.
Live
Not a lot
bait.
of people there.
I guess not. But
It's pretty desolate.
yeah, I guess maybe they could find out a way to set it up. But
They got guard foxes.
The, pop-
and
the population
orangutans.
the population of the state of Montana is 1 million people.
that's
The whole state.
it's a good game. Battlegrounds.
that's like half of the San Francisco during the day.
Right.
Like 1.5 in San Francisco during the day.
Yeah,
workers
maybe,
coming.
Probably, I'd
Something like
believe something like that.
Hmm.
No, great state. Great state. The best state. Really, really top notch. I don't know much about it. I don't want to sound like I'm castigating Montana, but I'd play a game set in Montana. I think Montana's great.
Why not?
Big fan.
Yeah, no, I just
Joe Montana football was a good game.
Yeah,
And that was set there.
he was a cop.
Yeah.
Good old Joe.
Yeah.
I find myself wavering on the amount of excitement I can muster for another Far Cry game. I like 4. I like 3 too.
Yeah.
But there's a definite formula you go through those games where
Yeah.
you get the best weapon, you make the biggest like bullet wallet, and then you kind of like coast through. I never played the co-op in Far Cry 4. I don't know if they're going to go all in for that
Yeah.
because definitely Wildlands is really co-op-y.
Yeah.
The
3
Division-
was a revelation, and then 4 was like, oh, it's more of that, and then 5 was
Cool villain,
Primal
but you
was
also
like,
have-
maybe I'm good for a while.
You also have Horizon doing a lot of very
Yeah.
similar stuff.
Yeah.
In like some
In a
nice ways.
but also in a purely single player way. Like
yeah.
I think like a lot of Ubisoft stuff, they go hardcore on that co-op.
Oh,
and-
I mean, they're very big on the games as a service thing, but like
Um,
I feel like Wildlands is the Far Cry concept taken in a like purely co-op direction
Did you
already,
play
though.
a lot of that in co-op because I did this weekend.
Enough to where it just kind of you feel underpowered
Yeah.
compared to how fucking overpowered you get.
It's really weird.
Yeah, but if you get if you get a crew of actual friends together and
Yeah.
you're just fucking goofing around and
We had a
don't
good
really
time.
give a shit, it is a good time.
We had a really good time. I tried to base jump, and I did not realize I was not high enough to actually
Oh,
base jump.
well.
So the parachute prompt opened, and I
As
kept
you were
on hitting
dying.
it, and I
Oh.
plopped right on the ground.
Nice.
But no, Far Cry 5, I like all those games, but I want to have something where I'm not like shoehorned in with a AI character.
I feel
in
like
these
it has to there needs to be a dramatic shift for Far Cry at this point. Primal was not it. Like Primal definitely like shifted the setting, but I feel like too much of the gameplay, like too much of the blueprint was there.
Yeah.
And Horizon I think showed like a good step forward from that blueprint, like keeping some of the same concepts in terms of hunting and crafting and all that other stuff, but just having a tighter, better feeling game without as much like meaningless side shit. Like that's the thing is instead of just filling the map with as many different things as you can, like really you kind of hone in on stuff. I think that there's a way to make that game. But
We forgot one Far Cry. There was a Far Cry for the Xbox.
Instincts.
Oh,
Instincts,
that's a million years
Yeah,
ago.
so I was saying we're
and like Instincts like Predator Edition or something.
yeah. That was a console exclusive. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember the first
Far Cry Big Red one.
When Far Cry the original game came out, that game was fan-fucking-tastic. That was awesome. The aliens jumping around, weird mutant shit. It was like they built Crysis after Far Cry because they kind of split off. I think.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Ubisoft owns Far
bought
Cry.
Ubisoft.
But man, Far Cry the first when that game.
Far Cry the first.
Far Cry the first.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope they kind of do something. If they go sci-fi, that they could do worse than emulating that game because that was really fun.
Sci-fi Montana. Future.
Hey,
Montana.
nobody knows what goes on in Montana. It could
That's
just
true.
be like Area 51 and like UFOs all the
State
time.
is basically a
Who
black
would
box.
know? How would we know?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it.
Yeah. There's no internet there. They don't let it. Whole thing.
You know it's almost E3 because everything this week is just leaks.
Yeah.
Here's half the stuff that's going to get announced at E3, leaking out early. Could I interest anybody in Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle?
Is it, yes.
Yes?
You can interest me in that.
Is that all I need to say?
Yeah, I
That's
like
all it takes?
Mario. I like
Do you like Rabbids?
the sensibility of Mario's mixed with the mischief of the Rabbids is a pretty good
Are they at
combo.
odds and then working together 2/3 of the way through the game? Is it
Yes.
like, the Rabbids ain't so bad. There's a
100%.
larger problem. we
They'd
have to
probably like
solve.
steal Luigi's hat or something, and so it's like, oh, we got to go get those rascally Rabbids,
Yep.
and then Bowser and who's the bad guy from the Rabbids?
I don't know.
Who the
They have
Rabbids?
a- is there-
hate?
is there a bad guy?
themselves. I think they just they're their own worst
This
enemy.
is every crossover ever, like DC Marvel. Batman meets Wolverine. They fight each other for a while.
It's got to
and
be.
then
It's got to
they
be
figure
some mad scientist. It's like the mad scientist that created the Rabbids, right?
Yeah.
He's the bad guy.
out- Who owns the Rabbit? Is it
It's
Ubisoft?
Also,
too?
also Ubisoft.
Has that ever appeared on any non-Nintendo platform? I've only ever.
Yes,
I think
there's a
while
Kinect
back,
game.
yeah. Like
There's
they
a Kinect
started.
game
They
with the
started
Rabbids,
off
right?
all over the place, right?
It makes sense now that Mario would be teaming up with the Rabbids, but you would think like, oh, Mario's going to do a crossover with Raymond, right? Or not Raymond.
Yeah, everyone loves Raymond and Mario coming together.
Luigi!
Yeah, this is the whole thing.
You made too much pasta.
5 days until Mario.
That's the extent of that rumor is that the game might exist, right?
No, there's so this also came out of Kotaku. They say it's been long rumored. First I've heard of it certainly.
I care about the Rabbids.
I started that rumor in 3rd grade.
Let's
Actually.
see. It's
Wouldn't it be cool if Rabbids and Mario did a thing and there's like, we got pizzas and then the Rabbids can't eat the pizzas right because they're fucking crazy.
Yeah, and
Also, they're
but they
rabbits.
want carrots on them.
Yeah.
And Luigi wants mushrooms on them, so they kind of get on odds about
the
it.
Rabbids then to get stuck on an escalator for like an hour and a half.
So they describe it as a bizarre crossover RPG. They say it's coming out in August or September. This is a Switch game, by the way.
Hey, if
Just
they
in
make
case
it
you were wondering.
anything like Super Mario RPG, then
Kind of sounds like
pretty
that.
good.
They say Ubisoft is doing the development on the Snowdrop engine.
Huh.
I'll just read from the story. The game's selling points appear to be turn-based combat, 2-player local co-op, and a goofy sense of humor.
Yeah,
The art we've seen features Mario and crew wielding guns that shoot laser beams.
Yeah, that's what I think of.
No,
The game will apparently have 8 playable characters: Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Peach, and bizarrely 4 Rabbids dressed up as Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and Peach.
okay.
On board.
Yeah.
Back in it.
I don't feel like
That's what they say this game is.
Mario shouldn't have a gun. Mario should never have
Mario
a gun.
fucking
Much like
fucking
Batman.
shit out of his hands.
Much like
He doesn't
Batman,
need a
Mario
fucking-
doesn't kill people.
What does Mario do with a fucking gun?
No,
Mario eats a flower and then Mario is the gun.
Mario can turn invincible
you
and
shoot
just run
Mario
into
at
enemies.
shit and he solves problems.
Plus, he
curve
only
the
has-
bullets.
His fingers would never be able to manipulate a gun.
Well, it's a special. You could get a specially made gun because I bet the Rabbids fucking have some fucked up weird hands too. They can
Yeah.
put their thumb behind the knuckle or some kind of weird thing. I really liked the Rabbids when that thing first started happening.
Yeah.
because it was just like they're just goofy fun and they're just fuck ups, and like there was a real good, just like childlike comic sensibility.
They're
to
like
it.
a good version of the Minions.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yes,
I think it's funny when they yell.
Yeah.
yes. If there's some alternate universe where the minions are barely existent and the Rabbids
Are on all the shirts at the
cultural
fair.
phenomenon.
right, yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
you can get an airbrushed bootleg. Yeah,
I'm tempted to say that
Fucking
that's a
truck
better
decal.
world, but maybe that would just ruin the Rabbids. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's
Maybe
very
that would just
possible.
be- yeah,
that's very possible. This maybe a weird question? Did Ubisoft do their usual thing with the Switch of just like blanketing the Switch with? They didn't, right?
1-2 Dance came out. Just Dance 2017
Dance.
came
Right,
out.
right.
They did that.
But they didn't go full Connect where they were putting out
No.
like 5 games at launch
No,
or
no,
something.
they
So
had-
like they're kind of coming in late on the Switch, but
Everyone kind of is.
Not a lot of ports on the Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not yet. Give it time.
yeah, here's a game.
Oblivion. No.
Skyrim.
Skyrim. Yeah.
That's the name of that game.
Ubisoft apparently a leaky fucking ship. They like
Always.
something. Assassin's Creed Origins is like going around Reddit right now. There's like a couple screenshots that somebody posted, but that like just happened. and
Might have ship combat.
we probably shouldn't dig into that because like it literally just got posted and there's like people tweeting at us about it.
Check
but-
this out. Assassin's Creed with airship combat.
Ooh,
It's a crossover with Final Fantasy. Sid shows up in his airship fleet.
Okay.
dude.
And you got to
Sounds kinda
assassinate Sephiroth. He's a bad guy, right?
Seymour. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm curious if the
orphan.
movie kind of took the wind out of the sails of the Assassin's Creed franchise a little bit because I didn't hear good things. It didn't do well at the box office, and I like.
But
Syndicate.
like I think the game is maybe fallen on slightly harsh times as well.
I like Syndicate a lot.
Syndicate did not do great.
Yeah,
well, I
Syndicate,
liked it a bunch.
but Syndicate fixed the problems that they ran into last time
Yeah.
out with what
Unity.
the fuck was Unity.
Syndicate was a totally fine game, but yeah, I mean, that's the conventional wisdom, right? Is like the next game suffers the blowback from
Right.
the shitty previous game.
Yeah, so I think there's obviously still room for Assassin's Creed in the world,
Yeah.
but they probably need to plant a very firm flag and say this shit is back. Because I think it's like stuff.
Desmond still the guy in
No,
it?
they know he got whacked
So
at some point. Like they unceremoniously tossed off.
They must have had a change in writer because somebody obviously wanted to jettison. There's no
Oh
conclusion.
yeah, no. I mean, like
Kristen Bell died. I think she got stabbed by Desmond.
The creative like leadership of that game, changed like dramatically. Like Patrice, Desolé, like the lawsuits and all that shit.
Now that you mention it, I guess maybe that is all. Then.
So right now, if I recall from the last couple of games, you just kind of go into the Matrix and you play that way the entire. There's no
there's
real
no
world
or there is a real world, but it's like it's a first person. The last one that I played significantly was like, it's a first person.
Black Flag, right?
That was Black
Flag.
You
work at a video game studio, and you jack out of the fucking
Ubisoft.
Animus, and you work at fake.
That was like an
Ubisoft.
amazing concept, but it sounds like they kind of didn't take it.
It also
anywhere.
sounded like
it's
they were getting a huge license to make fun of themselves and Ubisoft because the publisher was evil.
Yeah.
And I'm sure somebody...
And Ubisoft exists in that world as someone they partnered with to make those games. So it's,
somebody was getting really meta and like, I hate fucking working here, but I have to make this story.
Well,
so
Watch Dogs 2 had some of the same stuff, right? Of like, but they weren't really poking fun at
it
themselves.
was poking fun at how leaky they are.
Yeah,
like they leaked that trailer.
Appropriate.
I wonder if that game will still exist.
I
I don't
know. Oh, that space game.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the trailer that was in that game that like will that actually come to pass?
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, did that really get killed?
You'd think that would get announced at E3 also. We'll see if this Assassin's Creed stuff goes anywhere. It's like literally a post on Reddit from an hour ago.
Yeah.
Was E3 June 9th? Is that when it starts?
That sounds right.
We're all flying down?
9th is when we're going down. I think it's 12, 13,
like a
something
month.
like that. I know.
Yeah.
Guys,
it's real soon. It's real soon.
Got to book some appointments.
Gotta book up flight.
You know what game didn't get leaked? It's Need for Speed.
That's right.
Need for Speed got announced.
Well, they announced it in an earnings call
I mean, they've talked about it.
Yeah.
But like the Ghost Games put up a blog post today about the new Need for Speed.
I mean, it's insofar as that like they use the words "Need for Speed" and then say we're not going to tell you anything about it.
They announced a couple key features.
2 key features.
Pause. You can pause.
You can pause the game.
Pause the game.
/ play it offline.
You can
That's
pause
a
the
combo
game.
announcement.
That's a feature.
2 cops.
Yep.
What was the last?
Can you pause the
They
cops?
skipped a year.
I'm not sure.
They skipped a year. The last one
think
was
the
just
last
called
one was
Need for
just Need for
Speed.
Speed.
It was a reboot.
Before that was Most Wanted?
I
I
think
That
so.
game was great.
Yeah.
And Hot Pursuit.
2012 was Most Wanted, I think.
Yeah, I like that game a bunch.
So there were games between those two.
Yeah, this blog post is amazing. I don't know that I've ever seen so many words written about a game without saying like anything about it.
And also the verbiage, it's just fucking garbage. Like
there's nothing more satisfying than getting into a cop chase and feeling the heat on your tail.
No, read the start of it. The start of the stuff about cops.
I'm sorry. Whoop whoop. Let's talk about cops. There's nothing more satisfying than getting into it getting into a cop
That's
chase.
the sound of the cops.
And feeling the heat on your tail as you tear it up through the city. Cops in pursuit, racers up ahead, and then out of nowhere, bam! They bring a rhino to the street chase. You got this?
You got this?
Yeah, like
No,
it's fucking
I don't.
sweet-ass
I
marketing
actually
copy.
super don't got this.
No, you need to read that like fucking like it's the woman giving you the fucking mission briefing. Where is it?
somewhere in the middle there.
Whoop whoop. Let's talk about cops. There's nothing more satisfying than getting into a cop chase and feeling the heat on your tail as you tear it up through the city. Cops in pursuit, racers up ahead, and then out of nowhere, bam! They bring a rhino to street race.
What?
You got this?
Press A to accept.
Yeah. Fucking.
Are you supposed to crash into the rhino?
No,
Like,
the rhino tries to crash into you.
What is is a rhino like an APC or something?
Yeah, it's like a big armored police truck thing.
Who's the DJ from
Atomica.
DJ Tom.
I was thinking it was
DJ
an
Atomica
actual
here.
rhino,
Yeah.
like a police.
That would be.
outfitted rhino.
I mean, maybe that'll be the big change they make. But
Give him some mounted police in
Cop
there.
in a mech suit just
Yeah.
running alongside
like
you.
the other thing. So they sent out two things. They posted this blog post and then sent out an email to the press saying, "Hey, there's a blog post." And between the two, this is like not there's equally barren, but there is something in there that says like we're building off the core concepts of the 2015 game. And you're like, that's not. I mean, those core concepts were you drive cars and customize them.
Mm-hmm.
So fine. But like I just would not invoke the last Need for Speed game that made the dev team finally win the argument of give us a fucking year off.
Yeah.
So we can make it good.
Yeah.
They're actually basing it on the movie with Aaron Paul.
All right, fine. Now's the time to yes. Finally getting that one out the door. they should. Well, whatever. I was happy when they said that they were going to take a year off because I was like, oh man, that given 2 years, hopefully that team can really do some great work.
Yeah.
And we'll see. But like this thing is so nothing.
Yeah.
That it's just frustrating. You just look at it and go like, do they not realize that this franchise needs like a better injection of just like, hey,
like a NOS injection?
Turn right, and then you hit it, and then there's this whole sequence of CGI through the pipes of the fucking car, and there's fire, and then Need for Speed :
This might be cliched, but I'm really surprised they don't have like Vin Diesel in.
I'm surprised they don't have a Fast and Furious license game like that.
They do, but it's always like fucking shitty
arcade.
Yeah. Like there's
not what those
they did
movies
that.
deserve.
Didn't they do an add-on, or it was like a standalone?
Yeah, there was that Forza
Horizon.
Yeah,
right?
there was a Forza
Fast and Furious
add-on
edition or
that's
something like that.
Here's Ludacris telling you about these missions you're going to do.
That's
I want to drive that car that Vin Diesel drives at the beginning of Fate of the Furious, with it's all like stripped down and it's just exposed.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Need for Speed,
Yeah.
like that last game had FMV and all this other stuff. So like saying like we're doubling these core principles, like all right, they rolled out core principles last time they announced a Need for Speed game, and that game turned out to be pretty rough.
Yeah.
So I don't know that that's how I would go.
I swear I read somewhere that they are letting people play this at the EA Play event.
Yep.
I don't see that in this blog post.
I'm pretty sure that's.
I'm pretty
the case,
sure they've
but,
said that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's out this year. I mean,
we will totally see it at E3.
And whatever.
Is it coming to Switch?
I
feel like the Switch is primed for like decent driving games with the 2 Joy-Cons. I feel like you could do some cool like feel more like driving a car than holding a controller.
That's going to be
maybe.
work though. Like to get it on the
But I mean,
Switch and also the new consoles. I mean, like
yeah.
they're basically making a different version of the game at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like
I
Mario
wonder
Kart
if-
8 feels good to
Oh yeah,
play.
yeah. I'm not saying the Switch couldn't handle it. I'm just saying, does EA care enough, or are they?
Right. I just want a more realistic racing game on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would be a cool thing that console could use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
I wonder.
see if they go to the effort.
Yeah.
Have they done anything on the Switch yet?
EA?
Yeah.
FIFA is the only thing they announced, I think. So
no.
yeah. And I think like that's a smart business move for them. But then I wonder if that's part of the terms of their deal with FIFA is yes, we will make the FIFA video games for everything, and if we don't, someone else will, so we have to.
Right.
I wonder if that's part of that deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. I am very interested. I'm always interested in an announcement of a new Need for Speed game, and I always will be. I don't know why. I'm broken inside. They've made fantastic.
Yeah,
games
they keep doing
past,
just enough good ones that they like. You're kind of always hanging around, even when they blow it. You're like, well, like 2 games ago.
And also,
it was really
there
good.
really aren't that many like fun first driving games out there anymore.
Since
So,
Burnout went away, like there's not much left.
Forza
Horizon is
kind of
the.
It's like as close as you're
Right.
getting.
But it is
it's
still
not close enough for,
Forza Horizon is still like a pretty serious driving game
it
in a lot
is.
of
Yeah.
ways.
It
Like,
is.
You know, they wrap ridiculous things around it, but like the engine, the way the cars handle, all that sort of stuff is still kind of the thing, and that's fun. Like those are really good games.
There's nothing out there that goes as far as Burnout used to,
right,
or even close to it.
And with licensed cars, they're never quite going to be able to.
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll see. I hope that dangerous driving what is it called? Danger Zone.
Yes.
It's always beamng.drive.
Yeah. No, that's still not a video game.
Is that
just a
the
Nightmare
Crash
Factory.
Mode remake?
Yeah.
Danger Zone. Danger Zone.
Yeah, that got announced like last week.
Yeah. But I mean, like that's not even a driving game,
Right,
Like, I think they called it a puzzle game or something.
That's a puzzle game with cars. Yeah, so it's Need for Speed is kind of all that happens anymore.
Yeah.
It tends to do at least okay, at least well enough for them to keep it going. And I hope that they get it. Like there have been some great multiplayer Need for Speed.
Yeah, Hot
stuff,
Pursuit was so fucking cool.
Some really cool shit. So, but they do kind of if you read this thing, if you a close reading of their press release or their blog post or whatever, you're like, okay, it's an open world again.
Yeah.
Like that sort of stuff, which of course at this point it would be.
You think if there's FMV this time?
I don't know. I wonder.
No.
Like that stuff was like them trying to chase authenticity with like these names and stuff and these different disciplines and I think that stuff came off
That's
really
right.
really
That's right. They had that like kind of quasi celebrity stuff.
yeah.
What 2017 celebrities would be good in the next Need for Speed game?
I don't probably the same ones because like they were all car celebrities.
That's the weird
you
thing,
know?
is that they
But,
weren't
like,
like mass.
Let's open this up.
celebrities.
Who opens this game up to their markets.
Who like really fucking cracks things open for like? Well, I don't know. Who's like a? I'm trying to think like
millennials,
car culture plus like music celebrity.
Ja Rule.
Yeah,
the hottest 2017.
Yeah, Ja Rule.
He needs to do some damage control, so maybe this would be a good outlet for him.
He has a story about he wasn't in Fast and Furious 2 because he got like a huge head and like wanted $8 million or something like that. It's like, okay, we'll use Ludacris instead. Now Ludacris is like, stars rising.
Yeah,
Ja Rule.
Ja Rule. That's legal issues. Yeah, I'm trying to think who would even be good for this stuff.
I don't know.
Aaron Paul.
What if each former member of One Direction headed up a faction and they were all pit against each other?
Right. And you choose your faction. Yeah. And
you have to have a stand-in for Zayn, though. He would never do it.
Zayn's got his own thing. Yeah. I'd go for Harry's.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling to think like who is like a car
There's
friendly.
No good like other
a tough celebrity.
People in Fast and Furious.
Yeah, right.
Movies.
Yeah, like they are all perfect for this, but
Jay Leno.
Okay, yeah, car aficionado, Jay Leno, hiding in a closet, listening to you talk about cars. And then him and Mavis.
And Jerry Seinfeld shows up. Is like, need a ride.
Yeah, and you're like, absolutely not. I'm not funny. I'm not funny enough to be in your car.
What 18-year-old would not play this game?
Yeah, this thing sells. It fucking sells.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. I'll be curious about this. Some other news from like I guess last week. Craig Sullivan, who kind of become the face of Ghost Games and the face of Need for Speed, has left that studio.
Like he was one of the last Criterion people still around, right?
Or
not the last,
not
the last.
No,
but I mean, like
say almost certainly not.
Or he was kind of the guy who took the torch from Alex Ward, right? In terms of being
being like the spokesperson for
that's what I meant.
And so Craig Sullivan was the guy. I mean, he was the guy hosting E3 demos. He was the face of Need for Speed for several years now.
Right.
And now he is left to go to Amazon, their game division.
Wow.
Free Prime, man. What are you gonna do?
Sure. Get those perks.
Check this out. What if the bad guy was Uber and they're trying to automate all the cars and like fill the road with Ubers and you have to fight for cars?
I've been thinking for like the last year plus about like how you do or what auto driving cars will eventually do to driving.
Somebody
games.
has to be writing that story right now.
Well, like the last Fast and the Furious has like some pretty good like driverless car shit in it that is like good nightmare fuel for the future. But like that thing of like if you really back it out all the way into driving fast cars as this aspirational thing for the kids, what happens when no one buys their car anymore? Like,
I mean, kids are already like not driving in record numbers.
Yeah. So at what point does society just kind of like move past this whole thing to the point where like a driving game is this antiquated? Like what? Like who the fuck's driving a car?
Who
on
has
the
a
street?
car?
Like, you know, if everything has to be on a track because the idea of driving a regular car on a fucking street is just gone.
No.
Or going away, I guess. You know, totally. I feel like their days are numbered before they have to really figure this shit out. Yeah. But that's got to be like a Forza Horizon 4 thing by the time next year rolls around. You know, because they do all their things of like race a train, race an airplane, and it's really just a time attack. But with
some animation
around it.
Yeah.
Like eventually that animation is going to be here's a car that doesn't have a driver in it.
Yeah. Driving perfectly.
We're driving really perfectly.
taking every corner.
Or you ramming it off the road and seeing how it recovers or whatever. Like that. Or the other weirder part of like, can they use data from video game AI to make real life driverless cars better?
Is the future bad?
Oh, when do the drivatars take over?
Did we end up in the bad future?
We're always going to end up in the bad future.
We've been in there for a little while now. Yeah. Drivatars on our streets. It's more likely than you think.
Yeah. Speaking of the bad future, do you want to talk about this YouTube demonetization stuff?
I was instead gonna like.
Not sure if we want to get into the weeds on that stuff.
Yeah, we should. But I was gonna loop back around to talk about the good future, where today there was an update to TrackMania.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes, that's right. You mentioned there was other car news.
ManiaPlanet 4 is imminent, or I think it's out today officially, and that's a full. It's a large rebuild of the front end for TrackMania 2 and Shootmania.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Do you have any idea?
Maybe they're finally paving the way for Questmania to be introduced.
Yeah.
Finally.
Almost.
What's Shootmania doing these days?
They're still adding stuff to it.
Really? Are people playing it?
I have no fucking idea. And also, at the end of this month, they're adding a new TrackMania 2 they're releasing a new TrackMania 2 game, basically.
Okay.
Lagoon, which is the tile set and track stuff that was exclusive to TrackMania Turbo, which was the console-focused TrackMania game. So they're going to bring that, that had like all these like magnetic rail drive upside down cool shit in it. So that's like a cool thing for them to add to proper real TrackMania.
Right.
And I don't know. They have been working on ManiaPlanet 4 for a long time, and if you go to their website and read their blog posts about they're like previewing ManiaPlanet 4, it's the fucking most insane shit. It makes no sense to me at all because it's all this front end work about like, you can create a program and have a season with episodes for your race series, or I don't know, like your game type that you're making. And then you can send it to us, and we will decide to promote it. And I'm just looking at it like, just put a server browser. You've already got a server browser. Like none of this stuff. I don't understand who any of this stuff is for. It's insane. I don't understand it at all.
Shoot Mania came out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. Shoot Mania, man.
Thing's been around.
Yeah. Shoot Mania in some ways, like the main mode I played when I played that game 4 years ago, apparently. Was literally the Battlegrounds thing of like everyone starts in a big area and it tightens up over time. That was the main mode. I don't know if it still is.
Maybe I'll check in on Shoot Mania.
Yeah,
I want to see what happened.
Yeah, but like I want to see TrackMania 2 Lagoon is out.
Yeah.
At the end of this month. That's cool. That's a cool thing.
Lagoon is maybe not the next like terrain that I was expecting.
Yeah,
but sure.
That's what they called it in Turbo. So they're just using that name.
Yeah.
It's cool that thing is still getting updates. And
what's the next terrain you want to see?
This is
it.
This is it for TrackMania 2. I want to see them
TrackMania 3.
Yeah, basically, like TrackMania Turbo is like a really good graphical step up from the TrackMania 2 games. But they did say that there might be a larger update. So I wonder if they're gonna like redo the visuals for TrackMania 2, or if they put out Lagoon as the final environment, and they put out this ManiaPlanet 4 stuff. If that then paves the way for a TrackMania 3.
Which do you think is more likely to come out next? TrackMania 3, Shoot Mania 2, or QuestMania 1?
TrackMania 3. They've removed... you don't find a lot of references to QuestMania on the website anymore.
Okay.
Like that stuff is like not... I don't know. But last time I feel like I saw something about it. It was like, we're still... QuestMania, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So who knows? They're out of their minds. Maybe that just drops one day and you're like, oh... Fucking sure, of course. Why wouldn't it? But there are also like there are trains. They're adding trains. It sounds like they are much closer to, or perhaps this might be the release now of being capable of combining Shoot Mania and TrackMania, like getting out of your car.
Oh, what?
Or getting into a car.
What?
And driving, and then getting out of the car. So this might be them combining the single player fucking Malcolm McDowell module with the space module.
It's just an infinite world of driving.
I have no idea. I have no idea what they're doing. That might be a fun interview, or I don't know. I feel like every time I've talked to them, talked to anyone from that studio, there's a real, like they have a thing that they're trying to hit and they're trying to achieve, and it seems like they got bought by Ubisoft a while ago, and I would have expected every game to be like TrackMania Turbo by now, that it would have just been sanitized and cleaned up and made less crazy. But the idea that ManiaPlanet 4 can exist, or that any of this stuff is still getting any updates at all, it's bonkers. I don't know. Like I love that stuff is happening. I will happily play a new TrackMania 2 environment. So
those people have always seemed a little bit insane, in a good way.
Yeah, in a great way. Yeah, but also like that thing is an esport. Maybe less so in this country, but like people play that shit at DreamHack. People fucking get into their TrackMania.
DreamHack's weird, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's why TrackMania is the perfect game.
All right. The long and the short of this is that YouTube ain't paying what it used to
for Call of Duty people,
and this is starting to bleed over into video game stuff pretty significantly from what I understand.
Violent content, right?
Yeah. It seems like Call of Duty is kind of the main thing that people are pointing at, but I assume this is going to cover way more than this one game.
Yeah, I think
franchise.
Call of Duty, the name of this year's game, like makes it easier for YouTube to see what the type of content it is, because they see World War II in it and they go, nope. And so this is a thing of advertisers wanting more control over where their brands are being shown. There was that story, like it was a Wall Street Journal stuff, there's the PewDiePie stuff.
Yeah, they're the ones
that
Wall Street Journal broke the PewDiePie.
But
stuff.
then the follow on from that was then that like, oh, there's all these videos going up on YouTube that are full of hate speech and all this other stuff. That then Coca-Cola, like whatever brand is showing up right next to it.
This was inevitable with like the size of YouTube and the like incredibly lax way that they just let anything on the service.
They're not taking any videos down. They're just saying, hey. No sane advertiser wants to have a white supremacist video with a Coke ad or a Pepsi ad, for that matter, in front of it.
Pepsi, maybe, I don't know. They're edgy, man.
They think they can cure it, but
no conversation.
So now a lot of Call of Duty, at least one major one. I read the same article you're probably reading too. Says he has had a lot of videos getting demonetized, and he's like making a tenth of his.
Yeah, I've seen numerous YouTubers out there saying exactly.
There was a good summation of this on Kotaku, I think last week before.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, and then also just some tweets from different people saying like, hey, here's what I used to make, here's what I'm making now. Like it's a massive drop.
This was kind of, I think you're right that this was inevitable, that you would eventually, like, this stuff would get quote unquote professional to a point where the advertisers would want to know.
YouTube's just too big for it not to happen. Like, advertisers are insanely risk averse.
Yeah.
And
so
they're always going to tread cautiously.
This then has the knock-on effect of like, well, they don't want their brands being seen next to any kind of potentially objectionable content. So, that's going to hit a lot of the kind of more violent or racist or, some of these other videos that are on YouTube. But then, you'll have some other knock-on effect of like, like these video game videos of games that have violence in them.
But are realistic enough now to make it like the content is suddenly objectionable, whereas obviously a video of somebody really getting shot would be something that no advertiser would advertise for.
And now YouTube would take that down.
Now
that's not,
But now it's like virtual violence where nobody's actually getting hurt. People are playing games, have a good time, and now advertisers are skittish enough about that too.
So what's more likely? These people just setting up Patreons for themselves or moving to another platform?
It's tough to say.
Because those are like, seem like the
in the short term Patreon, but I've also seen people talking like Twitch is trying to position themselves as a place for these people to go.
Twitch is going to eventually get to a size where they run into the same thing.
Like it's going to be a problem with any service that gets to this scale.
Think about what Twitch is doing though. Like Twitch is solving their money. Like, well, it's not a money problem, but like Twitch is finding their way to money differently. Where like now they're launching all these internally produced shows about not games.
Yeah.
And like they seem like they're very, and I don't know for sure, but like they're launching some sneaker show and like that would be something that you could probably get sponsored pretty easily.
Yeah,
like
they've also got additional hooks like you earn a share of revenue if a game is sold on your stream or something like that.
Yeah, like bits and cheering,
and that's like and you can't opt out of that, which sort of, or I mean you can't easily opt out of that, which sucks. So we get emails as partners, like we get an email saying like you need to opt in to receive your share of the money, but if we stream a game on Twitch right now and we set the game we're playing to whatever we're playing and it's in their database, ads now show up below it. And like I'm not comfortable with that. Like that's uncool. And that's because that sets up a weird precedent where like, oh, well now suddenly streamers are going to be incentivized to play games that are in that database because then they can get a chunk of the revenue. And for the average streamer, that's fine. They're just trying to entertain and they're trying to earn a living or whatever. When you're trying to be like the press, like that sets up weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
I noticed when I was streaming this weekend that Twitch auto detected the games that I was playing and put it on because I started off with Battlegrounds, and I did not look at Twitch for my entire stream. I was using the NVIDIA overlay just to go straight there. And it definitely when I went back and looked at my clips, it was definitely switched over to Ghost Recon Wildlands, which I
wonder if the NVIDIA overlay
sends maybe you're right. Maybe it does that
stuff.
That might be true.
Because the NVIDIA experience knows what you have installed. So that might be part of it. Yeah. So like they're taking a different approach, but eventually, like you would have Twitch streamers that some brands would not want to be associated with, depending on how they carry themselves. Like that's a natural thing. That's
and like tangentially related to this, we're seeing a lot of uptakes in like streamers getting banned from Twitch for a week, for a while, for racism, homophobia, just stuff like that,
or even just acting the fool. Like there's that guy who just got banned for he got swatted in an airport more or less, but he was kind of inviting it. I forget the dude's name, but like he kind of was egging that stuff on.
And so Twitch is cracking down on their problem, which right now is like bad streamers, right? And eventually, once they have a solution for that, who knows if they're going to come to violent content as another thing. Like,
yeah,
right.
It does feel like YouTube is kind of painting with a broad brush here, though.
Totally, yeah. I mean, it's especially when you think about like the number of brands that would love to be associated with a popular violent video game,
right?
And like these guys out here run all kinds of promotions and stuff like that where they get like, here's, I don't know, we got some pizza and we're gonna play this game and shoot a bunch of people. And, like, that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
And
like soda, chips, and shooters, kind of like.
Yeah. Then they love to be associated with that sort of shit in that context.
Yeah.
But the YouTube stuff is maybe hitting a little wide. But I think it just that just gets back to like YouTube owns the platform. They call the shots. Like it's not there's really. Other than saying, "Hey, we're kind of getting fucked," like there's no recourse for the average content publisher.
That is the danger of living and dying by the whims of a platform holder.
Censorship thrown around a lot. Like, you're allowed to make these videos, they don't have to pay.
Yeah, no, they're not taking the videos down.
Everybody could make a choice whether they want to advertise on this podcast.
I mean, they can take the videos down too.
Oh
if
yeah,
they want.
true.
Like,
you gotta do it for the love of the
game.
game.
Whatever they want.
Yeah,
that'd be a little bit of a different matter than like, YouTube has pretty wide berth of what they will allow on the thing, but advertising is very much been around for a long, long time, where people will, if you say anything out of line, they will yank your ad.
So I think like again, like short term, you'll see Patreon kind of try to fill in some of that gap, but I wonder if there's a huge push to Patreon. How many Patreons can one person back? How many different content producers can one person subscribe to and back and all that sort of stuff? Like, that becomes hyper competitive at some point, where when it's just eyeballs and time, you just push play and it's on in another window and you're doing your thing.
Right.
Or maybe you're watching it actively. I don't know. But when it suddenly becomes like, hey, I need this support to continue to bring you this service, which is the boat that we're in a lot of ways. That becomes competitive in a way that YouTube isn't necessarily, or more directly competitive, I guess, instead of indirect. But yeah, that's a weird one. It reminds me of mp3.com, and I feel like you will get
this ancient history.
Yeah, you will. I think you'll get to a point where like big businesses will be poised to thrive and survive in the YouTube economy and all this other stuff.
You mean kind of like the makers of the world?
Yeah, or the brands themselves.
They'll
be out there able to kind of do their stuff, and I think the established voices and that sort of stuff, I think that they will be professional enough and focused on their business enough to where they will work around these limitations. Whether it means they will cover different games, or YouTube eventually kind of buttons their shit up to where they meet in the middle on this stuff. But by and large, I think you're going to see YouTube become a much more vicious, or a much tougher place to earn a living for the medium and lower tiers. It'll be harder to break into that upper echelon of like, okay, now we're getting the ads we need. We're whitelisted for like, okay, we're a trusted source
without the right people behind the scenes, like greasing palms.
Yeah,
and
we're
together.
like some concept of like, oh, we are known to not be publishing content that is objectionable to advertisers, so we are given the benefit of the doubt. Blah blah blah. Like, that seems like the sort of system that would eventually get set up.
Yeah,
and
or kind of already is to some extent.
Yeah, and then at some point you get a haves have-nots situation around that stuff that makes it very hard to break into it. Yeah. And I think that's been coming for a while. I think this lines up with my feeling that this has been that is coming.
Bad future.
Yeah. Well, but also inevitable future in some way. Like, that gold rush, that land grab phase of YouTube can't happen forever.
Right.
How many? It's like fucking 2010, 2011 when we were using that phrase, like YouTube land grab.
Yeah.
This has been in progress for a while.
It seems like it, and YouTube is just covering its ass and trying to grow its business for all people, not just for themselves.
Protect its business, not just grow it, but like protect what they already have.
And they do a lot more than just video games.
Yeah.
And so it reminds me of mp3.com, because when that site first launched, or what that site kind of was for a long time, it was a place for independent bands to upload music. And then you could then say, hey, we want you to make and sell CDs. So mp3.com, you would upload your songs to mp3.com. If someone came along and said, we want to pay $12, mp3.com would burn a CD, send it to them. And that was kind of the business. That was the whole site. It was a lot of leaderboards broken up by regions.
Yeah.
So you could see like I'm the number 2 band in my town because
Just
this
like
number of people came and listened to my song.
Like a bunch
today.
of music social stuff.
Totally. Yeah. But
and to be fair, this was what 05?
Earlier than that, maybe even
04?
This was before this company owned MP3.com.
You're talking about prior to
I'm talking about
prior to that
Michael
being
Robertson,
in this building.
like very early MP3.com.
Yeah.
Because then at some point that site got large enough, or they started conducting business in a different way, where suddenly it was like, we've got a new song from Ice-T on our website, and then suddenly it was like Eminem on their front page. And then suddenly every independent artist that had ever uploaded anything to that website didn't matter for shit because they were chasing the big dollars, not this aggregate small dollars of little ads running on little channels.
Right.
And so that's when I think about YouTube and I think about Twitch and stuff like that. Like, there's a ton of inventory there, right? Of just like there are people out there on Twitch that, have like 4 people watching them, 10 people watching them. They're doing it for themselves, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're not out there to make a bunch of money, but Twitch would like to.
CNET bought MP3.com in 2003.
Okay.
I think it was like $14 million too. It was some crazy price.
At the time, yeah. It was a lot. But this might have been like 2001 or something then that I'm talking about. No, this was when I was making music actively. So this would have been like 99, 2000. Yeah, probably somewhere around.
There's a lot of those sites, the Napster, LimeWire, LimeWire, all these things were percolating at the same time.
Yeah. And so, as a business, you can spend a lot of time trying to make nickels and dimes off of the smaller channels on YouTube and Twitch, or you can just create bigger ones. Yeah. And you can create them yourselves in some cases. That's why YouTube invests in content as much as they have over the years, even though that didn't always go. That was one of the last Whiskey Media things we did was put together a bunch of pitches for YouTube shows because they had some huge chunk of money set aside earmarked for content development. And so
Fear Gauntlet.
Yeah, the Fear Gauntlet would have been. That could have been it. It could have gone all the way.
Could have been a phenomenon.
Well,
especially. I'm sorry.
They shifted over to YouTube Red now. They're doubling down on this too. They have some celebrity stuff that they're popping up now.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
yeah. Especially when like YouTube itself has its hands on all the levers that determine what you see on YouTube. Like they can practically make and break channels just by putting the right people in front of you.
And they don't have a reason to do that in a shady way.
No,
they can come right out and be like, hey, YouTube Red has access to this. They can come right out and say, hey, these channels are popular,
and they do,
and they're big, and the numbers line up.
They promote those aggressively. For sure.
So I don't mean this to imply that anything like shady is going on the YouTube or Twitch end. It's just kind of the realities of it. That at some point it's like they're gonna chase the big money because they need that money to survive and grow. Yeah.
It does still suck though. I mean, for people like some of these people have been streaming Call of Duty for years, and now it's like all of a sudden your livelihood has been removed for no real fault of your own.
It's
the
easy.
Games aren't changing. It's just like all of a sudden
you didn't go on a racist rant, and now you can't make any more money on YouTube. It's just like, oh, the game is different.
This year's game happens to have the letters WW2 in it, and now that gets that's easier for them to spot as like, oh, this might be fucked up content because it's about a real war. It's a weird byproduct of all this stuff that's happening. It's a very 2017 sort of thing.
The weird thing is that it seems to be kind of all or nothing too. Like there's if you're demonetized, you can't Alex Jones sells ads for like Colloidal Silver. There are people who will advertise on programs that have a viewership. But here it seems like it's kind of all or nothing, where you can't even, if you get demonetized, you have not even the option for the people who are selling prepper kits. Because Call of Duty, I'll sell a prepper kit.
You're saying you can't opt into a lower tier of ads or something like that.
But you do have the option to go sell your own ads or run your own business.
On YouTube,
on YouTube, there is a way to. There are some rules around selling your own ads.
Another ad network or something like that. I remember, but it sounds really complicated. But no home streamer is going to have the wherewithal to really set that kind of stuff.
Maybe that's a business opportunity. Maybe someone comes along and says, "Hey, we're going to go get the gold sellers of the world
of colloidal silver in a warehouse. I need to sell it." So.
Well, maybe you
and a bunch of small to medium sized YouTube channels just waiting for your
podcast.
ads.
I will be purple
bundling. Great. Yeah. I don't know. It's a really weird problem that it's like unintended consequences of YouTube's changes. That maybe this is a temporary thing and it gets ironed out because like most of these YouTube videos for video games probably don't.
Some of this video game stuff just seems ripe for rolling back.
It probably makes sense. It probably is good for YouTube on the hey, we can deal with ad side, but losing a bunch of creators and having a majority of your creatives be disgruntled with your platform is never a good thing.
It's not, but I wonder at some point YouTube is so big and so ubiquitous, like where are they going to go?
That's the thing. YouTube kind of has.
Does YouTube care?
YouTube kind of has those people captive right now because there is not a comparable alternative.
Right, but doesn't that also make people be like, why would I even create content then?
Well, I think we're talking about
that's a question that like people should have been asking for the past couple of years. Really,
sure.
like
how many people are making a living though? Like we're talking about, there's a billion people. When I stream, I do it as part of the work that I do here, but when I have streamed in the past on my own time, it's like I'm not looking for a check. I just want to do it to have fun. I think there are so many people who are willing to do that. Maybe some of them are chasing like dollars at the end of the thing, but the amount of people who stream and actually make a living off of it, 1%, less than that, I assume.
Probably. Yeah.
So we're not going to run out of streamers, I don't think, no matter what.
No, but I feel like a lot of those streamers would like to make money.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. But yeah, it's hard to say. Like you would like to think that YouTube would definitely care about the people making content for them that they can then make a bunch of money off of. But you could also just as easily see them having an attitude of like, if they go, there are 20 more to take their place tomorrow.
We're going to go Vimeo?
Yeah, right.
It's lighting cigars with $100 bills.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, if they want to get into softcore porn, then they can go to Vimeo.
And I do.
A lot of good hip hop videos on Vimeo.
We'll see. This is all transitional. You know, none of this is set in stone right now. This is all just kind of happening right now. So I feel like eventually there is some middle ground to be had where this
like
makes sense.
This kind of seems like an overreaction that will get corrected.
Yeah,
to some degree.
But in the meantime, it's going to be painful for a lot of people. And it's starting with Call of Duty, but it definitely seems like that violent content in games. There are a lot of games with some pretty violent stuff in them. Like if you're doing Prey or you're doing, whatever shooter of the month is coming out, like this could easily be applied to your content.
Or does the person on the microphone swear too much?
Yeah.
Or, like there's a lot of
not around here.
No
way.
No fucking way. But like that's the sort of stuff that like a brand, if you're going doing some brand deal to promote some product on YouTube, that's the sort of stuff they're gonna probably care about.
And then you get to the point where there's no advertiser, there's nobody at these brands who are looking at every video. They're relying on like word of mouth and stuff that gets reported in the news, and they will react adversely.
But like like custom content deals and stuff like that come with all sorts of restrictions about that sort of stuff. There's the stuff about like, oh well, if you're gonna stream our game for money, don't talk shit about it.
Yeah.
Like, of course they're paying for it. Of course they're gonna put that in there.
Hashtag ad.
So at some point, does that become just the way more of these people make money is through those sorts of deals instead of from YouTube directly? I don't know. Whatever. I have no idea how that stuff will end up, but
everything's changing.
It's tumultuous, and it's been looking tumultuous for a while. So I think this is just like you look at it and go, yep.
Yeah, it definitely has seemed like a lot of people that are doing well in this field kind of wanted to kick the can down the road on the risk.
Yeah.
Like just kind of forget the fact that they're actually living by YouTube's whims at all times. Until shit hit the fan, and then it got bad.
Everything's scary, everything's changing, and we all have our lives in Google's hands.
Yeah, ultimately, that's
2017 is a little too 2017 for me so far. So let's stick our fingers in our ears and read some emails before we get out of here and try to feel a little bit better.
Yeah, your headphones are in the way. You're not actually getting in the ears.
Figuratively. Just pretend.
There's a whole, you can't, no.
He's already gone. We've lost him.
Emails.
Bombcast@giantbomb.com. Here's one directed at Ben.
Hi.
From Dylan.
What's up, Dylan?
Obligatory new dude questions. Favorite game?
Ever?
I guess.
One? My heart.
I know. He asked the questions.
I'll give 3 that I really like.
Yep,
I feel like gives a good spread.
Yep.
Super Mario World, Mystical Ninja Star and Goemon,
nice.
and Fallout 3.
Okay. It's a good cross section. Thoughts on Dave Lang?
Fuck Dave Lang.
Okay. You're taller than him, right? Easily.
Probably.
Surely.
Yeah,
he's pretty tall.
My default is
pretty
yes.
tall.
Yeah, yes.
He's pretty tall.
Yes.
But
I feel like if Dave Lang was 6'10" or above, then nobody could freely say fuck Dave Lang.
he's probably, I don't know, like 6'5" or something.
Yeah.
He's got
He's got a couple inches on you, doesn't he, Jason?
give or take.
And you're 6'4".
Not everywhere though.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm just talking height. I don't want
Yeah.
to.
Again, he's asking the questions. How's the weather up there?
Oh,
I know, right? How much money exactly have you spent on Dota?
$208.
Dude, wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud with that.
No, I mean I'm just impressed that you have the number was just in your head.
I checked after seeing how much Matt Kessler put into the most recent
Yep,
single round.
That'll make you do it.
So I went to see how much I spent all time.
Yeah.
This was like a week and a half ago. It was $208.
That's not bad.
No, for 5,000-ish hours.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
respectable.
I'm getting up there like with bejeweled stars now on my phone, where I'm like, I get to the point where they really make it hard, like level 315, and I'm considering spending a little money. I don't want to.
What's wrong with just spending a little bit of money? Here
Yeah,
and there?
man, come on,
Just slide a couple dollars in Jimmy B. Jewel's pocket.
Definitely
and he'll get you those good gems.
few hundred hours in that game, so I know.
What if I bought a doghouse full of green gems in Wiz Khalifa's weed farm? Then I could quadruple my earnings.
Oh.
Here's another question from Jordan: ketchup or mustard?
I up until maybe 2 years ago, I was firmly on Team Ketchup, but I've developed a taste for mustard. No spicy Dijon, fuck that shit. I like a classic yellow.
Okay.
But recently I've started doing on and off keto diet, so ketchup's almost completely out of the question.
Yes.
Ketchup tip from my girlfriend. Squirt a little Tapatio in there and mix it up
Ooh,
when,
that's good.
when you're dipping fries in it.
That's pretty good.
Really tastes good.
I just put a bunch of black pepper on there.
There's curry ketchup is a popular condiment in Europe.
Get some curry first.
They are selling
pretty good.
Big Mac sauce now in Canada on shelves. So you can actually buy their special sauce.
Isn't it just like Thousand Island,
I have no idea.
basically?
Yeah, I
Sharing
think it's,
little
pretty
factoids.
similar to
More or less.
ketchup chips.
Brady in Salt Lake City. A couple weeks ago, Jeff lamented VR's failure to evolve and asked where it can go from here. Well, I have the answer: into the Void. The Void is a company here in Utah that specializes in using custom tripped-out Oculus gear with specifically designed experiences that map to actual physical locations and objects in a warehouse. They effectively strap you into a backpack, put the headset on you, and everything that you see in the game has matching real-world objects. See a door in the game, reach out, open it, and it is mapped into your view with near perfection. The Void only recently opened its doors, but I've given it a shot, and they do deliver on their promise. I did a Ghostbusters experience that may have blown my mind a bit. I know that they toured last year with the same setup and wondered if any of you had had a chance to check it out or were aware of it. I've tried most VR offerings, and this is pretty much the only one that felt truly immersive.
Walking through a warehouse, as it turns out, is a lot like walking through a warehouse. Yeah, I mean, no,
That's a pretty awesome idea.
that's awesome.
That sounds
Yeah,
really cool.
that is really cool.
Are Oculus sets mobile at this point? Or do you?
Well,
do
Yeah, you
this-
can
he-
get like backpacks.
This sounds
Backpack,
like there
laptop.
would be like a laptop in a backpack.
That's why it's Ghostbusters, because you need to strap a fucking heavy proton pack on. They're like, here you go, here's your proton pack, buddy.
Is
fucking
VR
Alienware laptop.
There's no two-way communication with lighthouses, right? They're just for reference. So you could
Right.
you could just like line a warehouse with lighthouses, and like everybody's headset would just work.
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is VR the future of haunted houses?
Oh, I don't know.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That's
Until people
anyone
get
heard
so
of
freaked
any-
out that they start breaking the headsets trying to get them off.
Oh
That would be
yeah,
the-
they've got to get to the point where they can really cheaply produce those headsets.
Yeah.
they're working on that end of it too.
Yeah,
you know?
they're getting there.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. Like I just feel like some of the software is stagnant. I'm not necessarily like down on VR as a whole. It's just that the games right now are.
Hey, do you like guns?
I love guns.
Do you like shooting polygonal men?
I have been known.
Then
to
what's
shoot
your
a-
problem?
You know, we played Rick and Morty at my friend's house last night, right after we cut off on that quick look. Two gun shooter segment
Nice.
for that
Oh,
game. It was
wow.
like,
Turns into a shooting
it
gallery.
just turned into a shooting gallery for like a minute or two. It was kind of a jokey thing, but definitely it was like, oh, here we go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this Void stuff sounds really cool, but it also totally gets away from the idea of modern VR of having
Yeah.
like affordable VR in your home. Like
Right.
it's
Well,
right.
that's-
It's right back to
priced way out of most consumers' leagues
Well,
right
this
now.
is-
But
this
it's
is
got to
where-
be like an amusement park or arcade, like big
this
experience.
Is, this is right back to
Super
this is right back to the '90s problem of it's just a BattleTech center again, right? Like it's way too elaborate and expensive for anybody to have in their
But they
house.
sell smart drinks there. Ginkgo biloba. There's a whole thing. They have a fake like explorer's bar, and you're like, man, this is fancy. Let's go pilot our big robots now. The whole point is like having this stuff in your house and that sort of stuff. You know, that's the cool part about it. Like location based entertainment is nothing new, and the tech gets better all the time. So that's awesome that stuff exists, and I would love to try it. But at the same time, like it's
not super practical.
Yeah, that's not something I can put in my house. Yeah. So
or even like have access to in this area.
Building,
right?
I mean, shit, man. Like Star Trek Bridge Crew is coming out pretty soon here, and I don't know how we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like they're doing cross-platform stuff, and
Right.
it's still like, okay, well, wait, how can we get 4 of these into the same game?
Yeah.
Like we've got
and have enough room for
3
everybody to
headsets,
like.
and there's one in New York. But like
Just
how
put
much
me in
room?
the
Maybe it's
bathroom.
yeah,
Take
with
over
a
the
headset.
patio.
I mean, maybe it's a seated game anyway, right?
Yeah.
So you're sitting in front of
Maybe.
a console, so it might not even be moving around.
Yeah.
But it's like stuff like that is still kind of just hard to do logistically, and that's not a big warehouse game. So it's there's
Does that
cool
game have any
concepts.
holodeck stuff?
I don't know.
It'd be pretty cool.
I'm
I
still
think
waiting
it's
for.
cool.
I think VR is going to be amazing for sporting events when they finally get that hooked up. Like,
Yeah, I thought they were already kind of there.
Sit in a seat.
They're
and-
doing it.
and-
Yeah,
thought
there's some
they
basketball games.
much
that
had
Spend
that.
$45 to buy
yeah.
a virtual ticket to a sporting event.
for a whole year, maybe.
But
I
they
mean,
they need to the resolution of the headsets needs to improve because all the video stuff I've done in VR, like the 3D nature of it is really awesome, but it's still just a little low res in a way where you feel like you're inhabiting a Polaroid photo.
I still see
of
those
just
little
like
circles on the Vive lenses. You know how they have the little circular things. I still see those every time I put it on.
Yeah.
And it's like distracting and weird.
Yeah.
Would you pay an extra premium to sit next to virtual Jack Nicholson at a Lakers game?
Probably he's probably sitting next to some comely ladies. So
Yeah.
I'd get the in there.
There's different like. I mean,
I want to see
they totally
Jack
can do-
Nicholson at a Lakers game with like models on one side and a weird robot camera.
exactly.
Next to him. You're living the life now. Slapping fives from
Yeah.
You pay Kobe extra to come over and like high five the robot.
And then it turns into a dual gun shooting gallery.
as all
last Boy
VR
Scout.
all VR experiences are fated to do.
It's I think like VR is at an interesting spot right now where it's been out for a year now or so. I wouldn't say it's established, but like they're cutting price, they're doing things like they're more games are coming out. We're seeing kind of a second generation of game that is a little more involved in some of the stuff like Wilson's Heart and some of this other stuff, but it's just I don't know. It still feels like it's just not there.
Yeah.
Je ne sais quoi.
I assume they'll have that Fallout 4 VR at E3.
I would assume
Which again, like I don't necessarily want to play more Fallout 4, but I'm just curious about that thing as like, here's a giant ass AAA game mapped onto VR. Like, like how are they going to execute that?
I guess
the big question.
Like the thing is if there's a way to play it outside of VR, like that just fits most people's lifestyles better.
Yeah.
It's not about taking these games and making them like just cramming them into VR. It's the opposite of like making things that are built VR first from the ground up and building interesting and unique experiences there. So whatever. We'll see what they come up with. The Starbreeze VR headset. They're gonna
Starbreeze
show
doing
that
like
thing
some
off.
weird live stream soon.
Yeah, they're going to talk a bit about that this week, I think. So we'll kind of see. I think they've got the opposite. I think what is it? They've got inside out tracking instead of outside in. So instead of setting up sensors, the unit emits. And maps a room.
Wow.
And so it is a little easier to set up.
That's cool.
So the idea that you might not have to fucking USB connect a bunch of shit around your house or plug it to power or whatever, like though that's and everyone's working on those things too, those headsets. That seems like that would be a good step in terms of making it easier for someone to use in their home.
Right.
Especially if you can say like, hey, we're going to do this, and also the cable's really long, so you can, if your computer is not in the room where you want to do this VR stuff, you can still get the headset there.
Yeah.
Or if the wireless stuff gets better, I don't know. It's whatever. It's hard. It's hard to know how that stuff will go.
Yep. Damien in Virginia. Images of the Hoop God meeting with an undisclosed Chicago-based video game development executive have surfaced on social media.
It's true.
Will the Hoop God return to E3 for 2017? Or if not, who do you think will be this year's Hoop God?
Me.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's you.
We're positioning me as the next hoop god.
Next.
The next hoop god. Can't dunk yet, but I'm really close just by like reaching up.
Can you palm a basketball?
If it's a little bit deflated.
Okay, yeah, just like me.
So yes,
I can get pretty close. I'm extremely double jointed.
Yeah, so that's really the, that's kind of the I think the key to mastering is can you just hold the basketball?
Yeah.
Without having to inertia it into the hoop.
Just hold two and then kind of like do a fushigi orb
fushigi, that's a very erotic.
Yeah. The hoop god, the first hoop god prime is more about like being good at basketball. I'm just kind of a mysterious, shadowy, cloaked tall figure who can control
Kazam.
basketballs.
With you, the hoop is in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can project a hoop out from anywhere and then just dunk it in.
Yeah.
The thing I love about E3 is that we never know what is going to be the most ridiculous thing to come out of that, because there's always something that comes out of nowhere and is all the feels or some bullshit like that. Like
you don't see Weed 3 coming until
the memes make themselves.
until
We
it's upon
can't
you.
anticipate.
Yeah.
Who
That is
did
true.
they have talk about FIFA that one year, and they just had him talk for a real long
was
time?
it Pele?
Pele.
Pele just talked and talked.
That whole press conference with the
Yeah.
Super Zombie and Pele and
Yeah, that's
Mm.
right. It's kind of like James Cameron a few years ago.
They never learn.
Dude just talked and talked and talked.
Yeah, there's a middle ground. There's a middle ground of like, I feel like it's important to get people out there and talk and have something to say, but you can go too far.
Yeah.
EA's got a lot of time to fill this year too, I bet. We'll see.
Yes. Brandon wrote in with some weird Guilty Gear facts. You want to hear them?
yeah.
boy.
There was some talk about Guilty Gear last week, and I figured it would be worth sending an email about some of the names in that game.
Okay.
Daisuke Ishiwatari, the creative head behind Guilty Gear, is a bit of a rock and metal music buff.
Yes.
Yep.
Apparently his favorite band is Queen, so here are a few things to consider. Soul Bad Guy's real name is Frederick, or Freddie,
Yep.
borrowed from Freddie Mercury, who once released a solo album titled Mr. Bad Guy. Bless you.
Excuse me. These facts makes me sneeze.
Yeah.
He's
You're
allergic to
them.
bullshit.
Yeah.
The headband Soul wears has the words Rock You etched into it.
I didn't know that.
The name of one of Soul's in-game theme songs is titled Keep Yourself Alive. Another character in the game, Johnny, has a move that allows him to steal precious items from other characters. The item he steals from Soul is a vinyl album with artwork that resembles the artwork from Queen's album Sheer Heart Attack. There are 1,000,001 more musical allusions like this throughout Guilty Gear, such as Chip Z'Nuff, as you may already know, being named directly after the bass player from the 80s American rock band Enough's Enough. Or more subtle things, such as the character, I can't see, Elfelt?
Yeah.
So such as the character Elfelt, who attacks primarily using either guns or roses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
get that now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's like bridal themed, and she has a big gun.
Okay.
So she has like a bouquet of roses
Got
that
it.
she'll hit people.
How does that a
with.
Queen reference?
That's
Well,
No,
that was
that's
just
not
Guns N'
more
Roses.
larger.
That's not.
yeah.
That's,
Isn't Dizzy a reference to something?
Yeah.
Dizzy Gillespie
Right.
was one of the Guns N' Roses members.
Yeah.
Dizzy Gillespie was a jazz musician.
Or not, oh my God, did I just say Gillespie? Jesus Christ.
That's what he said.
Whoa, I didn't realize he went on to
Izzy Stradlin.
Izzy Stradlin,
and
then Dizzy.
Dizzy's actual last name.
It's
is
about
not
the
Gillespie.
jungles they don't welcome
I
you
can't
to.
believe this. Hang on.
You are unwelcome here.
I totally brain farted that. Let me see. What's his last? Dizzy Reed. I'm sorry. Dizzy Reed was the keyboard
Dizzy Gillespie
player.
played a sax.
Yeah.
If you are
Fucking all over the
Me
place.
myself, I love
Today. I'm a little dizzy.
Yeah.
employed by the estate of
unfortunately.
Dizzy Gillespie, please send apologies.
Yes. Dizzy was the keyboardist.
We
Izzy
know
was
you're
the-
listening.
Yes.
Or maybe you're dead.
Let's see.
Whoa.
Still
Uh,
listening. Still potentially
Yeah.
listening.
David from Raleigh, North Carolina. Is Nog or Gnog or whatever the fuck it's called a spiritual sequel to the Booba Zone?
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Sure.
Expert opinion.
You push buttons, shit happens.
Okay.
But there are solutions to these problems,
Mm.
whereas the Booba Zone asks questions and provides zero answers.
What top level domain would be good for Nog? Nog dot.
Mm. Pizza.
Nog dot pizza.
Nada pizza.
Nog dot. What was that dude's number again with the hookup?
Scott Steiner. He's got your hookup. Holler if you hear him.
Nog dot. Yeah.
More Ben questions peppered throughout this thing. Tobias from Germany wants to know Terminator 1 or 2.
I watched both for the first and only time in high school. So I'd have to revisit them, but I remember liking 2 a bit more.
Okay.
Terminator 1 does not have Ed Furlong in it, though, so that's a point in its favor.
Easy money.
I just do. I can't. That's one of the worst, like,
People
young
fucking hate Ed
performances.
I could think of I don't know. I could think of worse child performances than that movie.
Why do you cry?
Let's see.
I'm a really big fan of what's his name, who played the
Clearly.
liquid.
Yeah. Huge fan.
Huge fan of what's his name, the liquid metal tea.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah,
If you look,
Robert Patrick's pretty cool.
If you look hard enough in the scour of the basement of the internet, you might find a definitive movie for Terminator 3 somewhere for screen. I think I made one of those.
But that's definitely no longer officially available anywhere.
Maybe you'll find it somewhere. If you talk to Joey Famelli, he's got a hard drive somewhere.
Somebody must have that.
That dude was
some of those videos ended up on the Giant Bomb YouTube channel.
Yeah, there was like copyright strikes. Very tough to get that shit on YouTube, which is really where YouTube's problem started. Man, they're offending their creators.
Harv from Massachusetts. I was talking to a coworker about the old Funghua bus, and I mistakenly said Wu-Tang Bus Company. Describe the Wu-Tang Bus Company.
It's a good bus.
It's there's a bunch of buses that you have to progress through.
9 of them. Smoke pouring out.
There's four chambers per on each of the 9 buses.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. You get a contact high on the Wu-Tang bus line. There's a problem with that.
Nobody not in the clan has made it past the 6th bus.
Okay.
No mortal can progress.
If you get a 9-hit combo without blocking, you get to the 4th bus.
It's an impressively long time without a reference to bees. It's good. I'm impressed.
As he said, no one has seen past the 6th bus.
Okay, that's fair. I'm impressed. It's a really bad would you rather this week, but we haven't gotten one in a long time. I guess I should just read it.
Read it.
Aiden in Connecticut. Would you rather have a bucket of cow urine dumped on your head or a bucket of human urine dumped on your head?
Cow urine.
I don't think there's enough differentiation there. This is
either way, you're
human urine. Somebody would be getting off on it. Probably cow urine too. Somebody masturbating to that image, but human urine would be more like I'd feel less.
I could probably make some money if it was human urine.
Yeah,
human urine has higher variance because it depends. Cows have a very steady diet.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Grass-fed cow urine.
Yeah. All I know is I would not advertise on that stream. So that works both ways.
That's a sound business policy.
Yeah.
I feel like a good would you rather needs enough variance there to just you need a wide spectrum of horrible experiences.
Either one of those is
really,
pretty bad. It's just yeah. It depends on what if it's Hitler's urine. No way.
That's I would go cow just so I don't have to worry about the possibility of it being somebody's pee that I know
or that you hate. I mean, if somebody, I don't know. Yeah. But maybe that cow's an asshole.
That's a whole different thing. Cow assholes.
That's not quite the same thing.
Yeah, I guess with thinking about cow diets and stuff like that, maybe cow urine would be
it's probably
less.
Pretty chill. Grass isn't very. I'm not speaking from experience here, but grass shouldn't turn your urine into a weird smell.
A lot of cows don't eat grass. So is it a farm factory raised cow?
Yeah,
a lot of cows are eating Skittles.
I need more data about the humans involved in making the pee bucket and the cows involved in making the pee bucket.
I think about it this way, whereas I have had a face covered in cow shit and I'm here to tell the tale. So maybe cow urine can't be worse than cow shit.
There, you already have a worse experience. I've never been peed on.
Haven't you?
Well,
who can say?
I've been peed on.
Yeah,
I've ingested pee unknowingly.
Oof.
Yeah,
I think we all have.
But I mean, this was in apple juice, and
in
holy
quantity.
shit, was I thirsty,
no.
and it was about a 50-50 ratio.
Did someone do that to you?
Yeah.
Did you then fuck them up?
No, there was a lot of fucking up going on in that household. They came out one time and
somebody
I just needed to. If it's
technically
it's
a
a halfway house for just all of us fucking idiots that we spend our entire weekend there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody came out and fired a fucking 22.
Yep.
At the car that I was sleeping in, and I ran inside after this motherfucker, and he's just giddily running down.
You
the
ran
hall.
after the guy with the gun?
Ran after the guy with the gun, fucking went to kick the goddamn door down, and my leg went right through the door. Splinters all up.
I have done that to a door.
Fuck.
It's you want
that
doors
hurts.
to be, yeah.
Ready to go in there and kick some ass, and no, you just look like a goddamn idiot. But
or you look like a fucking door-destroying maniac who's really hell-bent on vengeance.
I was real pissed. I was real tired. You're fucking firing guns at me.
I would be
Dicks.
pissed. Even if I wasn't tired, I'd be mad at that.
But yeah, somebody pissed in the apple juice and just put it in the fridge. So it wasn't directed at me per se.
Technically,
But
that is assault.
Did you dump it out after, or did you put it back in?
I put it back in.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd save some for somebody else.
Yeah,
Of course.
okay. Yeah.
But
Spread it around.
Yeah. It wasn't that great. So I don't want to have more urine in my mouth.
Would you rather be shot at by a gun or drink half pea, half orange juice or apple juice?
What are the odds of me getting hit by the gun?
Shot at?
Shot at could be depends on what the scope drift is. I mean, hey,
Who's shooting?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, if there's a non-zero chance of me getting shot, then I would take the piss.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Now you're British.
Yeah. But if it was like sit in this car while someone shoots at this car and we guarantee you won't get shot, I'd be like, that actually sounds kind of fun if I knew it was coming.
Sure.
Very different definition of fun.
I mean, it's again, if there's 0% chance of that causing me any harm, I would like to know what it feels like to be in a car that's being shot at.
What's that famous Winston Churchill quote, which probably actually isn't him?
It's
close only counts and hand grenades and
nothing in life is so exhilarating as to be shot at without result.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
I can think of a few more.
I've had guns pointed at me before, and that's a fucking. Let me tell you, don't
do that.
Don't get in that situation if you can help it.
It sounds bad.
But at the same time, it's a real rush. And it's the only way I can get off now.
All right. Last email. It's from Matthew.
Hey. Cool name.
I have an odd food thing that I've loved since I was a kid. We grew up incredibly poor in the 70s and 80s, resulting in my mother having to get creative with food sometimes, thus resulting in some crazy concoctions mixed up in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
The only one I still eat to this day we called Spam soup. This was a brick of Spam sliced into cubes, cooked and mixed into a bowl of room temperature ketchup. Everyone I know in life thinks that this is crazy and disgusting and refuses to try it. Most people don't even want to be around it. Sometimes when I'm feeling a little exotic, I'll slice up a banana and put it on top of the Spam soup. Am I good? What weird food things did you have growing up, and do you still make them?
I mean, don't brag. Like, shit, Spam we didn't have Spam in my house, man. No. I made fucking...
Nothing wrong with Spam.
Taco Bell packet sandwiches.
Oh, I think I've done that before. The hot sauce?
Yeah, with their hot sauce.
I've done that with...
If you're lucky, you have some, government cheese, maybe.
Sure. I've definitely made sandwiches out of Arby's sauce before.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Spam is nothing to be ashamed of. I would not put it in ketchup for the most part.
Oh,
maybe
that
dip
sounds
it.
disgusting.
Yeah, like a bowl of ketchup.
Fuck no.
Like,
Fuck no.
I just wouldn't want to ingest that much ketchup.
Yeah.
A little Tapatio in there.
Yeah,
But it's barbecue
sets it right up.
sauce. I can maybe do it.
Yeah, okay.
I have a lot of weird food things in my life that I still actively enjoy.
Go on.
I won't get into too many of them up front. I feel like this is as you guys get to know me, they'll just more naturally come out.
Yeah, when you feel more comfortable at being like, here's how much of a nightmare I am.
That tends to happen on this podcast.
But ketchup and bananas is a combo that I've been a fan of for a really long time. So maybe with a little bit of Spam. I don't know. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I like Spam Masubi. I like
Spam Hawaiian. The
Spam
people of
musubi is
Hawaii
amazing.
make some amazing Spam concoctions.
Yes, for sure.
I'm not a big Spam fan.
I wouldn't go out of my way, but
There's a
it's
place-
like wrapped in rice and like seaweed as like Spam sushi.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place in San Francisco that does a waffle with bits of cheese and Spam baked into it, and it's really good.
Sounds all right.
If you like sausage, you probably like Spam. Not that it's like Spam is equivalent to a nice sausage, but it's texture-wise and flavor-wise, you can grill it up real nice. Spam is.
You can do a
underrated.
lot worse than Spam.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
But yeah, for me, it just comes down to like I would not want to put that much ketchup.
It seems like a bowl of ketchup. Seems
That's
like too much.
like ketchup goes on stuff. Ketchup is not the first item on a list, or as far as I'm
it shouldn't be
concerned.
your base.
Yeah.
Well, he's not asking if you would eat that. He's asking if you have anything that weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to think of some of my less.
I ate
ones.
almost exclusively grilled cheese growing up. It's basically all I ate.
We used to make a banana and mayonnaise sandwich now and again. It's not
No.
bad. You should try it.
I've made sandwiches with banana, ketchup, pickle, and you melt a little bit of cheese on a slice of bread and then put that on.
Doesn't
on
sound
top.
so. That sounds
Banana
maybe
peanut butter
okay.
is
And then you
fantastic.
deep fry it.
Well,
okay. All right.
We would
Who just has a
occasionally
deep fryer laying around.
Well, I mean, we would just like fill up a pan full of oil
Okay.
and then drop it in there.
that seems really safe.
Oh yeah, no.
shallow fry. at that
There was
point.
nothing safe about college.
We would have just bacon sandwiches sometimes, like a BLT with no L, no T.
Yeah.
Just a B.
Yeah, just straight B.
I'd rather take out the T than the L. I don't like tomatoes, but
Yeah.
you ever order like a breakfast biscuit at McDonald's or something and don't get bacon on it? Because that's the only reason I buy a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit is to get that crunch. And sometimes when they do not forget to put it on there, it's harsh.
Yeah.
That I do turn around from any like bad orders at fast food, but if they forget the bacon,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
I know it's been a
Sorry,
rough couple of
gone
weeks.
Glad you're
through that.
okay.
Yeah.
Giant Palm is well known for eating weird shit.
When Fresh Choice used to still exist, just like go to this buffet and just get nightmare. They would have like a huge salad bar, but then it was also like they got some soups, they got
pizza.
some pizza in quotes. It's like kind of not.
Is that just like a buffet
like
eater? It is
like
like a
a
Golden
buffet
Corral
eater.
kind of thing.
Yeah, but like it's trying to be healthier,
fancier.
trying to be a little fancier.
Okay.
Than it's not Golden Corral. There's not like here's a big plate of meat. But it's like
no, thank you.
But here's a big thing of bread and biscuits and stuff like that,
Mac
or cornbread.
and cheese.
They had a chicken soup. It was fine on its own, but if you just got the broth, they had all these oyster crackers right there.
Yeah.
And if you put enough oyster crackers into it to offset to soak up all of the broth, eventually you got this salty, gruely paste. That sometimes I would just get a bowl of that. With a friend of mine, we would both go all in on this and just keep dumping the fucking crackers in there until you could turn it upside down. No liquid would come out.
Just a mash.
Just a yeah.
Do you know they reopened?
There's
like a Fresh Choice in
like Colma or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's real or not.
It is.
Okay.
It's next to a Sizzler, so it's just
that's competition there.
Two sides of the same.
I kind of don't like Sizzler that much.
It's all right.
They bring you that toast
that-
up front.
that
and that's
Texas
all right.
toast.
It's a Texas toast, oh man.
It's like a cheesy Texas toast.
Yeah.
There's a buffet near me that was originally opened up. It's a big corner lot, like in a major intersection, called China Buffet. When it first opened up,
What do they have there?
now it changed names to NYC Buffet. Same owner, same layout, same everything, but just apparently China Buffet was too specific for it. Now it's NY because New York cuisine is very defined. Like what
Definitely.
you get when you go to
Yep.
New York, you get.
Yeah, I love that New
I bet
York
there's some
food.
great pizza at NYC Buffet.
But I feel like most of the good Chinese buffets I went to, well, good is a relative term, would have French fries, bare minimum.
Yes.
Sure.
And then from there it just gets like there's a place in Santa Rosa. There's a Chinese buffet on like either Santa Rosa Avenue or like Mendocino.
Oh yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
That was like just
was pretty
had
famous
fucking
for
fries
having, like-
and just fucking crazy shit. They're like, I don't know, fuck it, we're Chinese buffet, and then over here we got pizza. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could see that place being called anything but China buffet.
Got to clean your plate, or else they'll charge you for it. Which always seems like the weirdest thing. Like if you leave your plate behind with food on it, they will actually come over and like charge you extra at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So only eat what you can handle, and always know
They
your
want to cut
buffet.
down on waste. Yeah.
That's fine. I don't mind. It's just a weird policy.
Bombcast at giantbomb.com. Send emails to that
Thanks,
address. Thank you.
Ask me anything.
Yeah.
I'll answer.
Ask
I'll
Ben.
answer anything.
Ask Ben Pack anything.
Premium sale going on right now. I'm shilling again. Sorry.
It's okay.
Till the end of the week. You got
$35
$35
for a year's worth.
Only
of content.
$35?
Only
That's
$35.
a hot 12 months.
If
There
you
are
have-
12 months in a year. I want to reestablish.
If you have been renewed at full price, which does happen during sales sometimes, email me at support@giantbomb.com. Do not use your store code. I can cancel that and get you the sale price. Happy to help. Bear with me in terms of getting back to email. There has been a lot of it lately. Yeah, but premium.
It's out there.
but premium.
Do we want to talk about stuff we're doing later in the week? Or is that still coming together?
We're looking to the anniversary of the U.S. launch of the Saturn.
Yeah.
Sega Saturn celebration stream.
Yeah, we're gonna bring in a bunch of
Spectacular.
Saturn stuff. I'm not sure that I have the right games for it, so we're gonna have to pull together.
We know some people.
We know
I
some
was
other
looking at a
people.
copy of Virtua Fighter just this very morning.
Great.
It's on a big spindle of discs, and that's the top one.
Nice.
I'm
All right.
not sure what else is in there.
Just at
A mystery spindle of Saturn discs sounds like a good time.
Are those,
So-
like
are those-
burned.
are those discs legitimate?
Yeah, the one on the top is. Below that, I used to get discs from Netflix and make copies of them for like Farscape episodes, and so there's probably a bunch of that shit in there.
bunch of weird DVDs or something. Okay.
Yeah,
All
All right, well, we'll watch some Farscape then, and maybe
celebrate
play
some
some Saturn
Saturn.
games.
So the blood
I've got
runs
Street
clear.
Fighter the movie, so I think we're set.
Yeah, that's all I
I just
need.
want to play
That
4
did-
hours of that.
Well, they had that. That was I remember very specifically the jewel case for that. Man, what a weird.
Mine's in rough shape. So you're bringing yours in for sure. So I don't have to bring in mine. My
Yeah.
copy. Okay.
Yeah, you
Good.
can look at my list of games, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I'll bring in 100% of that stuff.
Bring everything,
Yeah, I'm just gonna bring it all.
just in case we get.
I have
bored
a
of Street
U.S.
Fighter the
Saturn
movie.
that is in the box. I'll bring that in.
Dang.
We can unbox a Saturn.
Wait, new?
No.
Okay. Surely.
But at some point I put it back in the box because I was no longer using that Saturn. I had another one.
I just want to play Sega Rally. That is one of my all-time favorite.
I might
racing
only
could-
have
you could
Rally. I might
potentially
only
do
have
that.
2.
Is two, eight,
Rally
right?
Championship
Is two going to
is-
work?
Well, Rally.
Can you play
Rally
Sega Rally
Championship was
2 is
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast. Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
There's only one. There couldn't be only one.
Yeah.
I'll see if I have it. I think I do.
That thing came out in 95?
I was in high school and I won it in a contest. So it was
94.
definitely like 95,
No.
96.
I guess maybe it was 95.
So
Yeah.
this is just
right.
an odd numbered anniversary.
Fuck it, man.
22nd, 23rd anniversary, something like that.
You did that thing with Peter
Yeah.
playing Saturn games.
Yeah.
It made us want to play more Saturn
Yeah.
games. There happened to be some kind of loose Saturn anniversary coming up, so we decided to wait until that date instead of some other arbitrary date.
I wonder how he's
do a
coming along
Saturn
with Panzer Dragoon.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe we can check in with him.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right.
I'll try and drag him in.
Yeah. All right. Well, until then, this has been the Giant Bombcast. Thanks for listening. We will see you soon.
Today's episode was brought to you in part by Dollar Shave Club. That's the smarter choice. Get a great shave at a great price, conveniently delivered right to your door. And for a limited time, new members can get their first month of the Executive Razor with a tube of Dr. Carver's Shave Butter. For only $5 with free shipping by going to dollarshaveclub.com/bombcast. After that, razors just a few bucks a month. That's dollarshaveclub.com/bombcast.